Good evening, everyone. Thank you guys for joining us in the chat, as well as everyone here on the panel. Shorty is having some technical difficulties right now, and he will try to join us when he can.
Shorty
With
is
that being said, I want to say welcome, Aldo.
Hey.
And the members of the panel here. Foster, what's going on?
Another day, man. Still alive, right? No.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Are you? Are you really?
Could be AI, man. You never know these days.
I don't know.
But wait, although if it's me, I guess it really can't be AI.
No, what would it be?
Any type of intelligence, I should say. We'll just leave it at that.
What's happening, Carl?
Not much, man. I've still got some skin on my arm. I haven't scratched it off, but it's going to come off soon. I'm just waiting for Bears football, man.
There you go. Tell us something good, Aldo.
Well, first of all, it's always great to be on your show. You guys do outstanding work. It gets better and better every time I tune in. It's like, man, we got new graphics. They got open. They got new voices and stuff. You guys are kicking ass, and so congratulations for that, and thanks for having me back. I'm a big supporter, and whatever you guys need from me, I'm there for you. So, and I'm glad that Dan, Mr. Shorty, is not here to hear me say these nice words, because fuck him for missing.
Well, look, let me echo those sentiments, man, that we appreciate all you've done for this channel, as well as, for helping this channel grow, and your support, because you really are one of our bigger supporters, and we truly appreciate it.
You got it, man.
None of us, none of us would be here if it wasn't for Aldo. PJ and I started talking on your show 3 or 4 years ago, something like that.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
We would not be talking to Unite if it wasn't for you yourself and your shows and everything that you guys at the bar, that you do at the bar room. So
I truly must admit, Aldo.
I had to say it.
Your Bare Their Souls.
Mm-hmm.
I tune in faithfully every week. Even I used to always not catch it right on time when it was aired, but I would watch it later on, and always enjoyable, man. I truly appreciate that show, and it was informative and fun. That was the thing. It was fun.
Thanks. Yeah, that's one of the shows I'm most proud of the many dozens that we've had over the 10 years that we've been doing this. And the reason why is because it reflects more of the personalities of Dan, Tooch, and myself more than any other thing. We let down all our guards. We make jokes that we would make only to our closest friends, and we risk it putting out there on the air. And but it's all based out of love and respect for everyone. We not afraid to make jokes about ourselves and other people, and watch really hot looking chicks do the weather.
I love your weather reports.
Coming back for the season.
Okay.
That's what PJ was there every night, every week late. He'd always check in late because he knew when.
Yeah, he
when the weather report was.
I missed the weather report.
Hey,
might have missed some of the shows. Although, but I never missed one of those weather reports. I had to watch it a couple times on the replay because I had to understand it.
Hey, I tell you, doesn't like catching the good weather. I'm telling you.
No man can disagree.
All occurs and.
All right, the people in the chat, let me give you guys a quick shout out. We got Cliff Victoria, Doug Van Dorn, Bruja 7. Who else am I missing? Anybody here?
Triple R is in the house today.
Triple R? Holy
Heidi Zimmerman.
Heidi.
J2K.
Patty Laura. And I think that's it.
Mr. Mayhem?
Mr. Mayhem.
Oh, I missed him. Okay. J2K. All right.
J2K's the man.
Armando Laura Jr. is in here. So again, guys in the chat, we appreciate you guys. Thank you very much for your support. As you can see, we have Aldo as our guest tonight. So, man, let's talk some football there. What you got lined up for us, Carl?
Well, boys, we not only have a 53-man roster, the Bears now finally have a practice squad, and one of those players who's on that practice squad, unfortunately, in my opinion, is Reddy Steward. Have you guys had any chance to review the 53? Do you need me to throw it up on the screen for you guys, or?
I've seen it, but if you want to, I mean, for the people in the chat, if you want to throw it up for them, just in case they didn't see it.
Yeah, let me poke around here and get this finalized so I can have something presentable. But
and let me just jump in and say that this was, in so many years that I've been watching the Bears, this was one of the toughest roster cutdowns because of the depth on the team. There's players who were released who were outstanding young talents, like Brendan Bates, who's immediately the tight end, was immediately picked up by another team. And that's a guy who's got Cole Kmet written all over him, a good inline blocker who can now has proven that he can make catches down the field. Hey, I'm talking of assholes. What's the matter with your internet connection, man?
Just all over the place.
I don't know what is going on. I woke up today. I was on with J2K last night in StreamYard. We were hanging out. Everything was fine. Today, my fucking laptop computer, my MacBook, the keyboard does not work.
It's a brand new MacBook.
It's like a year old, less than.
Right.
I went through support with them. They couldn't figure it out. I somehow I have to take this thing to Apple now. I don't know. My it's dead. So then I had Carl send me the link to the show, and I was having like a major issue trying to get in because of Safari on my iPhone. Mm-hmm. So I don't know what's going on. I'm just glad to be here. I appreciate you guys starting this without me. How are you doing, Aldo?
I'm doing great. And just one tip that I've learned from experience, if you continually come on your keyboard, it's going to fuck things up.
Oh, that's what.
Don't do that, man.
I was wondering if it was the cum that did that, but I guess you're right, yeah.
It's my third keyboard, bro.
So that's on the list. You don't come on your keyboard. Don't put eggs on your keyboard. I forgot what the other one more.
It also looks kind of sticky there, you know.
Stick.
Well, that's like you didn't you drop an raw egg on your keyboard, Foster? Which is the same thing as cum, so I get it.
Yeah, it's probably very similar, and it's protein. Well, we did start talking 53-man roster until you showed up, and right away, please, where does it go?
Please continue. Finish what you were saying. Finish your thoughts.
I'm joking around. You know me, I'm insane. Doesn't matter.
What's up, Eric Carper? I see you joined us there.
I'm in like this limbo here. It's like my channel, I can't operate. I don't know what's going on. I can't read the chat. I don't know what the fuck's going on. I can't pull up things and look at them. This sucks.
That's great, Peach. We might have a good show tonight.
Yeah. Conversation.
Well, Carl was in the midst of pulling up the 53-man roster for those of in the chat who may not know what the 53-man roster is, and I was going to have him direct the questions there, but if you're here back, since though you're back, I guess you can do it there.
Me? I can't do anything. I'm on my phone.
Yeah.
Well, in that case, Carl going to be in charge of directing the questions.
Carl is in tonight, man. Carl's in charge.
Carl's in charge.
How am I in charge? I'm not even on the screen, gentlemen. I don't know. I think I'm going to leave you guys high and dry and have you guys figure.
Come on, production, man. Hey, wasn't Carl in charge of a show in the 80s or something?
No, Charles in charge. That's why.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Send us money for you.
Get that fucking guy.
What?
Out
No
of here,
super
man.
chats?
Is that better? Is that better? Here's your.
Yeah. So
what? No
Aldo,
super chats?
That's a joke because that has become a running joke because I was watching. I very rarely, if ever, watch CHGO. But
oh yeah,
they were on there one show, and Nicholas Moriana was like, "What? No super chats?"
Oh, really?
It had been like an hour, and they had gotten no super chats. He was practically begging for them, and I'm like, what is this shit? You know?
Yeah, they got a big overhead. You know, they just signed Cole Kmet. They got to pay him some bucks and stuff, and with the other players there, they gotta raise a lot of money. So they got to beg for it.
You would be surprised at what they're doing. I think I saw that they started a Big Ten channel. They started a Dallas channel. So they're really squeezing that freaking lemon right now, man.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh, they certainly are.
They might be pulling a chat at sports on us.
Yeah.
Well, you know, there was an article written about them and how they're growing, and you know they're taking some gambles, but they really see potential in this kind of heavy duty city sports coverage. And I agree with them. I think that you know the traditional, we used to, Foster and I and PJ, we all used to go to 10 o'clock news to get our sports message. And then years later, a sports radio came in, thanks to Mike North and others. And now it's digital. And so they're growing their digital presence in a number of cities and covering as many sports. And I think that's a good strategy. If they got the money to build a strong infrastructure, then they're probably going to do well, because they got some talented people over there, no doubt.
Well, that's the thing, though. I mean, I think they would have to follow your lead, though, because I think you have done a marvelous job in this space of providing podcasts, and it's a different variety. I mean, because again, you know, you got your hockey ones, you got your baseball one. I mean, you got a whole bunch of different, and of course, the Bears. It's like, man, so they need to follow your lead. And again, I said it before, I'll say it again. I truly appreciate what you have done for this show, as well as the podcast community in general.
Thank you. I appreciate that. They're going to do well following their own path. And I think that's what we all need to do, right? As podcasters, you know, you still steal. I used to work for a guy at McDonald's Corporation. He was a vice president, so every time he had to send a speech to the owner-operator community, one of his favorite I was there videotaping. One of his favorite saying was "steal mercilessly," and what he meant by that is, if you see a good idea at a different restaurant, or how to treat your people, or enhancing cash flow from somebody else, steal that idea, make it yours, mold it yours. And so, you know, if anyone wants to steal my idea so that they can better their productions, man, I'm all for it, because I'm going to be stealing yours.
Are you guys familiar with the Thy and Spy podcast, where we steal Aldo Gandia's ideas?
That's a good advertising tagline, right?
Aldo, I'm gonna be honest. That night we were kind of talking on Twitter. You had made that awesome video of Tyler Scott getting pulled on that, perfect pass from Caleb. I screen recorded that on my phone. I'm like, I'm gonna put this on BCP, and I saw that you made it from scratch. I was like, I can't do that.
Yeah, you can. Sure you can.
Hey, Dan, don't worry about it. Bearski's got it on tonight. No, I'm making it up.
Aldo, what do you think of the logo up there I made?
I love that logo. I love the texture on the ribbon and the color orange up on top. It's got a lot of depth. When you're looking at graphic production, you want to go beyond the simple and give it some texture and depth, and you nailed it.
No, that was made by, that's courtesy of J2K Designs. Shout out
J2K.
I'm talking about the Jumpman up in the upper right.
I love that too, man.
Dude,
and it's moving too.
They need, I don't know if it's copywritten yet, but I'm ready to do it. But Nike needs to approach Caleb Williams about making a Nike cleat.
Yeah.
And putting that as the Jumpman brand.
You need to copyright that and approach Caleb Williams, and then approach Nike about making a cleat deal with them with that logo.
Yeah, I'm sure it's already in the works, though.
Yeah, how many times
probably is.
You said that, and you see it a year later, and I should have made that.
Sorry, you lost. They're faster.
Shit. Yeah. Shit.
Obvious. They did it again. That's a nice one.
Who did that?
That's beautiful.
Obvious T-shirts. They do those real cool T-shirts with sayings on them.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
People there.
They got it.
Give me a moment, fellas. I want to shout out the chat real fast. I see that Jay Grizz joined us, King Booker World, Antmus. Am I missing anybody recently? Okay, I don't think so. So thanks, guys, for joining.
DVD?
Oh yeah, we already acknowledged the usuals there. So yes.
Oh, okay. I can't see chat right now. I apologize. Okay. I'm up in West Chicago in a hotel right now, and I'm having issues, so I can't see what's going on with chat. Did you guys do BetUS yet?
No, we didn't. We was waiting for you.
Oh,
what's that?
Yeah, we're going to let you do it because I wanted to make sure that we said hi to Vernon Roseman.
Vernon Roseman. What's up, Vernon?
Luca and Aunt Masa popped in too.
Foster, you sound like shit again.
Your microphone might be overmodulating because it's staticky. You might want to lower the gain if you can.
How's that?
No, it's the same thing as last week. It's like
overmodulating.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's because he doesn't have the bodies and the wall behind him right there to
Hey, I can read some of the chat comments to you, Shorty. Like this one's, what are you doing tonight? I'd love to meet up with you. And it's from Wilma Dickfit. Wilma Dickfit.
Oh, Wilma Dickfit.
You attract all kinds, man.
I thought that one was from Bearski Film.
Now, there is a message to Aldo from Don Burr, though. Don Burr says, let me see if I can pull it up here. It was tame, so he said, "Can someone tell Aldo I have a pair of Detroit socks on?"
That's where they belong, on your feet.
That's right.
There you go.
Or stuffed in your mouth.
Yeah. Or wiping your ass with it.
What's happening, Plank? What's happening?
Jokes about him, but I don't know the guy, so I don't know what to say other than he's a Lions fan, So I got to come up with something better. I've been making penitentiary jokes, like what's your inmate like? When is your next parole? But those don't really stick because I don't know who the fuck Don Burr is other than a mistaken Lions fan. I think he's really a Bears fan.
Well, Don Burr and Cliff Victoria are the same human.
I'd like to believe that, but I don't think that's true.
Well, he can't prove that it's not.
That is true. You sound like one of my abusers. I mean, not abusers. Women that abuse.
I thought you called that your wife.
Carl's a funny guy, man, but I think he's funnier when he's behind the scenes.
Funny.
See, that's why we stuck you back there now, Carl.
Oh, bye.
Carl was a guest on a recent Bare Their Souls, and he was fantastic. And PJ, I've been trying to get you on. We're going to do that real soon. In fact, we should just do a show with all of you guys come on for, we do almost 3 hours. So
just let me know when.
They call that a bukkake.
You would know, right?
Let me know when.
No, that was Mr. Aguirre who educated me.
Oh, I see. How many? If you were a guy, if you are a guy, you are a guy. But how would you participate in a bukkake with a bunch of other guys? There's no way I would do that. You don't know what a bukkake is?
I'm gonna stop pulling myself till Foster's back. There's no woman on earth who's worth that.
To do that too, you're saying, right?
Yeah. Like, there's no, it's never happened.
PJ, bukkake is a porn term where you get a bunch of guys having sex with a woman. They finish all by ejaculating on her face.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I think I would pass on that search.
Yeah. First of all, I don't want to be involved with any kind of an orgy where there's another penis around.
Can't have one 100 feet near me.
That's right.
100 feet.
You know, and the old joke is if you're gonna, a guy my age, if you're gonna have sex with multiple women, that's a good thing because after I fall asleep in 5 minutes, they have each other talk.
After you take a pill to have sex.
Yeah, exactly. I have to take 3 pills.
Man.
Heidi says no, thank you to Bukaki.
Yeah. I think I'll
Triple R is projecting as well.
Yeah, I think I can honestly say I'll pass.
I think we need to give Heidi a nickname. Like I was thinking of MWP, my wet dream. Oh, come on! I know you've had wet dreams with Heidi.
No. I have not had sexual relations with that woman.
Carl looks a little more like Kyle Orton than Carl.
All right, you don't have to steal Dan Aguirre's content there, bud.
That is true. He said that first.
Mr. Doug Van Dorn's getting down. Unbelievable.
Are you guys getting feedback at all?
Yes.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. Is that me? Let me remove myself.
No.
I
think it's me. Hold on a second.
Blah 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 blah. I'm still getting it.
I'm on the phone now. How's this better?
I hear you perfectly.
What about
let
now?
Me talk. Yeah, that's better. Yep.
Thank you, Mr.
What about
Mr. Gondor?
this? See, I'm just trying to use my mic, Shorty, and it's not working. My setup is all fucked up.
The fucking professionals having the problems here.
I know. I'm sorry.
Are we ready for some Bears football?
I do want to just really quickly acknowledge, to piggyback off of what PJ said, you are the podfather, man. You are the podfather. You're the man. I mean, 10 years of doing this. You basically, let's take a look at what you started, Aldo. You started TTNL. You started Greg Bragg's on CHGO. You started BC. You started BC. You started BCP. You started the Nomad Network. You started Triple R's Sports Chicago Style podcast. Trying to think of there. I'm sure there's more, but you are the man, dude. And thank you for being you. Thank you for being such a generous, humble man. Like you're the shit. You have people over at your house. You have all these, all of us at your house to have parties. You let me piss in your bushes.
It costs a little bit.
So I just want to acknowledge that. You're the man, dude. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And just for the record, I didn't start any of those. I might have inspired people to go out and do their own thing, which is fantastic. I wish I could take credit for anything more than that, but I didn't. The fact that BCP is what it is because of the talents of you guys and under Shorty's leadership. And you guys are going to get better and better and better. And, Cliff Victoria just sets Mike North on his show. Somebody big just died. But this is very reminiscent of Mike North's career, in that old stage of broadcast radio, and you only had a few stations, and TV, the same thing. He had the idea that Chicago should have a full-time sports radio station. He's working at his hot dog stand. He sees the owners from a radio station that they just had on the news that they were going to turn into a all jazz station, jazz. And Mike is like, are you crazy? The only city in the United States that has an all sports station is in New York. We need one here in Chicago. You got crazy sports fans. And the owner of the station looked at the advertising in the newspaper on Sunday and saw all the ads were in the sports section. There was hardly anything at all in the music section. So he then basically created the Score Sports Radio, with the backing, of course, of the money people and other radio executives. And so I think that's what's happening now in our podcast industry. There is all of these every guy types like Mike North was many years ago. We're all creating our thing. And, you guys who are younger and more creative and have more ideas and more to say than I do, you'll be doing this for a lot longer and your success is unlimited. Me, another year or two and I'm done. And I'll be watching your shows religiously. So Congratulations to all you guys, all you content creators. It is a great democracy of sports coverage now, and you guys are helping to lead the way. So thank you for the compliments.
Yes.
And thank
well
you
deserved.
as well.
Well deserved.
Thank you as well. Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, you guys want to get into some Bears now?
Well, let me give one last short shout out to Heidi. Thank you, Heidi, for your contributions here as far as your input in the chat. I know it's a lot of male talk going on here, locker room talk, and I know you have to have tough skin to be able to tolerate it. So appreciate it. Thank you. I want to give you a shout out for that.
Heidi, it's great to see you in chat. I can't see chat, but I'm assuming you're here. I did see your Carl pulled up your chat. Heidi is such a sweetheart, and man, she's got great hair and she smells wonderful. That's what I remember about Heidi.
Upstairs or downstairs? The chat needs to know.
Well, I don't know about downstairs, but upstairs, it's the hair. She's a super sweet
MWD.
woman.
My wet dream.
And I keep seeing her tweeting that I'm gonna move to Chicago. If I might as well. I got one tip for you on that. I have a buddy that lives in the Keys now, and he told me that he's like I can be broke anywhere, so might as well be broke in the Keys. And
very true.
If you are a good cook, Heidi, I believe you are. You can get a job anywhere here. And listen, nobody wants to work anymore, for one thing. Yeah, so really. You come up here to Chicago, and you can get a job anywhere. So if that's what you want to do, Heidi, I implore you to do it. It's a change in life is always great, for anyone. It might be taking a risk, but it's just don't look back. What's up, Triple R?
I agree. In today's climate, where a lot of the younger people seem like they don't want to work, like have a work ethic like us older guys had when we was coming up. Oh my goodness, oh man, you could make a killing, I would think.
Mm-hmm.
See, Aldo, this is where the last 30 minutes of our Bare Their Souls episode came from. These old guys are telling me how things are supposed to be, and I unfortunately agree with them.
Well, look at you. You're one of the smart young people.
Treat others the way you'd like to be treated and get a job. It's simple.
It is simple.
He turns 30 in November. I turned 50 in December.
See, maybe we need to have the talk. Aldo suggested that I could be his aborted offspring as well.
He said that to me, too. You're not special, Carl.
Well, you said it to me, so who's the dad? I need to know.
Carl, I am your father.
All right, guys, make sure you subscribe with notifications on. Next week to start the episode, DNA test, BCP, live.
Oh.
Foster hit you with it.
Hey, well, if you guys remember, Dan's already my kid anyways.
That's right.
If you remember the whole story, so.
We need some super chats. We need to fund these DNA tests.
What, no
Fart man.
I don't want any of them taken because I'm afraid we might find out some truth.
Foster, you would be like the youngest young man to go through puberty if you were my father.
I'm still going through it at like 60.
I can hear it right now in the comments. You guys took too long to get to the subject matter.
It's only 30 minutes.
Hey, we tend to have fun.
Should we talk some Bears now? I wish I could pull it up, but my fucking computer is not working. The cuts.
Where do we want to start? Offense or defense?
Were they a surprise to any of you, really, is the question.
Let's start on the offensive side.
Okay.
Well, there's no surprises at the quarterback position other than the Bears not having a third quarterback on the 53-man roster.
And
is that a concern?
PJ, before we go with that, I wanted to educate myself on the new third quarterback rule because essentially they were a pseudo lock to the roster, right? They were always going to be an emergency quarterback, whatever the case was. That was vetoed, and I think that was vetoed literally last week. So instead of trying to finagle who's going to be the third quarterback, They rolled with 2, which really no surprise after the performance of Bagent this preseason, in my opinion.
Yeah. I think you know, with what they have in Reed, you can have him on a practice squad, and if need be, you can pull him up without other teams necessarily trying to poach him.
Do you guys think that Rippon was more of a chance of being poached off of the practice squad than
he was
than Reed?
he was essentially poached today by the Vikings. He was a free agent. He was terminated, I believed, but he was signed by the Vikings today, and I think directly to their 53. But I can't remember.
That does not surprise me at all with the Vikings, because there was even chatter up in Minnesota about trading Frisco for Dobbs, who they had last year and let go, who ended up with the Niners. I don't know if he's still with them, but this was a couple days ago.
For those of you in the chat who don't know, the Bears currently have 2 quarterbacks on the active roster. Of course, it's Caleb Williams and Tyson Bagent. That's his name, Austin Reed. Austin Reed is on the practice squad, but we'll get to the practice squad later. But for the active roster, it's Caleb Williams and Tyson Bagent.
And the new rules say that they can bring them up from the practice squad for the game. Yeah. Oh, it was vetoed.
It was vetoed like this week, I believe. It was a very recent change.
Oh, okay. I saw Lester Wiltfong post that on Twitter about the new rules, and so it changed since then. Okay.
Lester's really in tune. Good on you for shouting him out. He was essentially my source on this.
Yeah, mine too.
Now, moving on to the offensive line for the 53-man roster, the Bears kept 10 offensive linemen. Starting with the left tackle, we have Braxton Jones and his backup being Karan Amagaji. So basically, we're going to have 2 players at each position, the starter and the reserve. So at the left tackle, Braxton Jones and Karan Amagaji. You guys' thoughts?
PJ, I don't want to put your foot in your mouth for you, but this is not a solid depth chart. I do feel strong that this is your starting 5, right? But I feel like Matt Pryor is your swing tackle, and I feel like Ryan Bates would be your third man in as far as an injury to a guard. But I don't want to call this
just for the sake of argument to make it easier, Carl, is what I'm doing, just to make it easy. Okay. We got 5 offensive linemen starting, 5 reserves. So let's just say
run with it.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. Don't hold us to it, chat. Don't hold us to it. But yeah, you guys, what are you guys' thoughts on these 2 guys, the left tackle and the backup?
I'm gonna go last. Go ahead, Aldo.
Well, I think that the line, unfortunately, doesn't have, a superstar player, at least as of yet. Darnell Wright hopefully will be that at the right tackle. I doubt that if he does become, and I doubt that that'll happen this year. He should play better than he did last year, but I think he's still a ways away from being an all-pro, Pro Bowl caliber right tackle. Nate Davis, the story is old with him. He's never really been a great pass blocker. He's always been a really good run blocker. Last season, when he did play well into the season because of complications with injuries and loss in family, he played really like he's always played when he played at Titans. He's not a high caliber guard. Coleman Shelton played 2-3 seasons as a starter with the Rams, so he was good enough for them. He should be good enough for us, but he too is not anywhere near a Pro Bowl caliber center. Tevin Jenkins could potentially get there. Certainly as a run blocker, the dude is a Pro Bowl caliber run blocker. As a pass blocker, he's nowhere near that yet. And of course, his injury problems are very concerning. And then Braxton Jones is a young talent. He's got all the physical skills to play that more athletic left tackle position, particularly what the Bears require with him moving out a lot. The question is can he handle the bull rush? Every team that he's going to face is going to employ that rushing technique against him because the tape doesn't lie, at least in this case, and it shows that he's very tough, very poor against bull rushes. And then the backups, I think you got adequate backups up and down the line. It's going to be interesting to see who they activate on the 53 from game to game. So, for instance, if they don't have Doug Kramer activated for the first game, then if Coleman Shelton gets injured, who is going to play center? Is it going to be Matt Pryor? I don't know those answers, and so I'm a little bit concerned about the depth with certain respects. But as soon as Bates comes back, then that issue should be clear for me, because we know that Bates will either be starting at center, starting at right guard, or be the primary backup for those interior offensive line positions.
Agreed. Although I just want to throw in this too, that because J2K had mentioned that he didn't think that Pryor would be the swing tackle, but he has played. I believe he's got like 14 or 15 games under his belt at playing the full game at both tackle positions. And we know what he is as a guard. So I think the big thing here is with Larry Barroom down, that kind of squeezes him, because now you can't use Matt Pryor as a right or left guard in the backup of, for that position while Bates is hurt. So that it takes away so much from the depth of the tackle position that it does put the Bears in a little spot. And I've stated this for 2 years now, and Pete, I'm still, my biggest concern is, although I do believe Caleb Williams is going to make it easier on that offensive line, if something were to happen to Tevin Jenkins, I'm just so concerned about that interior of the offensive line. I'm a little more worried about tackle too now, with Barroom not being there, or not having someone that we have seen and we know what they are in season games on a week-to-week basis. But just having to shift that, because now what is Nate Davis going to be? We don't really have an answer. I mean, he looked okay in that one game, but he didn't play against any starters this preseason. None. So where does that leave? Where does that leave the interior offensive line? Bill Murray. Now, I don't know if you guys had watched the tape. He had a
Bill
solid...
Murray or Dan Aykroyd?
Bill Murray's actually had a decent preseason, so
yeah.
That is encouraging, because I didn't know what to expect out of him exactly. I mean, I knew he had been hanging around the last 2 years. There's a reason for it, obviously. And then the last thing I wanted to say is left guard Dieter Eislam was released, and I don't know if anybody picked him up yet. Any thoughts on that?
I personally like him, but I don't think the Bears does.
He can play either guard position and center. They know.
Yeah, he was with the team for so many years, and he never was able to really crack the lineup. So, while we know him, I don't think he really knows this offense that well. So I would say no to Dieter. Now, we had him on years ago when he was a rookie. We had him on the show. The guy was fucking phenomenal, funny.
You did?
Yeah.
On Dan and Aldo?
No, the old 100 Proof show. He was a guest for Phil, Shane, and myself, and he was great. He was very funny. This was his rookie year, and we had just seen some tape from him from playing in Europe, and we fell in love with him. Saw that he was undrafted free agent signee with the Bears. He agreed to come on, and we had a great time with him. But I think it's time to move on. Hey, Bersky, I think it's time to move on from any of these old guys that used to play on the team, unless it's somebody really special. And Dieter never really got on the field much to prove that he was special.
He didn't, did he?
Nope.
Yeah, he did not.
All right. J2K says he had a chance to be the center of the team, but he was just okay. And I think now we're in much better hands with Shelton and Bates at the center position. I think we'll be fine. And hopefully Bates is not going to have like a Lucas Patrick career with the Bears. The coveted player finally comes over and then, doesn't play to his capabilities because of injuries.
Yeah, I think
we need to stay healthy out of the gate because of what's going on right now. We really do need to be healthy coming out to start the first 5, 6, 7 weeks till everybody's in shape.
What are your thoughts here, Shorty, on the I'm sorry, Carl. What's your thoughts on the offensive line?
Not much I can say at this point. You guys have encompassed everything, right? The one thing I did want to say was that when I tried to break this down a couple weeks ago, My gut told me that the Bears would go with 10 offensive linemen. They went with 10 last year. My thought strictly regarding that was pertaining to the health of Tevin Jenkins and health plus, extra situation with Nate Davis. But I never took this into consideration until it was brought to my attention recently. What are the chances that these really athletic linemen have any sort of shot playing on the kickoff rule?
On the defense side or offensive side?
Offense. They're lining up 10 yards away from a linebacker.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been trying to figure that out too, Carl. And listening to the interviews with Hightower and Eberflus, the press conferences, is they are starting to believe that the best body type for the new kickoff rules are the defensive end, athletic defensive linemen, and athletic safeties and linebackers, because their body type is much more conducive to those rules. I haven't heard them say an offensive lineman body type, which would have been was my first assumption when I learned about the rules. It seems like there's just an offensive line there, block them at the point of attack and let the runner get past them. But they haven't said that in the interviews. And everything regarding the new kickoff rule, we're going to learn about it in week 1. And
we have seen absolute zero, Aldo.
Exactly.
We have seen absolute zero.
Hightower made it a point to say we're going to look at every game to learn from other teams.
Yeah, it's like Area 51, right? Like, I think the only time I've ever seen anything other than a kick to, like, the 5-yard line was actually what the Chiefs did. They did a low little squib, kind of, and it landed at the 20.25-yard line and put the ball at the 40. But that's what they would love to do, for have it to land at the 19, roll, and force them to pick it up and do something with it. But just those little pop-up kicks, it's going to be so much different, in my opinion. And I have a hard time conveying this point, but I think that you're going to have this one really special play that you bust out if you need a touchdown, like a double, triple reverse or something stupid. And you might not even see it till the playoffs. It's that high priority, but it's going to allow for a lot of creativity, and this is only year 1 of it. I hope that it sticks around, because that kickoff rule needs to be a play, and it can't just be the bathroom break anymore, in my opinion.
100%.
I wanted to throw in about the kickoff. I'm kind of glad that we don't have to, especially us in the condition we're in, have to send our offensive linemen out there for kickoff duties.
Yeah,
I wouldn't. You've increased the percentage of injury of risk. So why not use second and third stringers, even if they're athletic enough and they can handle the job, to protect the rest of your players? You're going to use your Sewell and these other guys to fill the positions. Not in every spot, because they've got the specialists, but I think it helps the teams with their health. Yeah. It's potentially can.
Yeah. The first thing that I have to say about the offensive line is congratulations to everyone for finally getting Karan Amagaji's name correct. Let's listen to us now. We're pros. Like, when we drafted him, we were like, wow, nobody knew how to say his damn name. But as Bears fans, when you're a Bear, we love you. We love you. And we've got his name down now. That's 100%. The only one I can't pronounce is that linebacker we kept.
Easy for you to say.
I'll get it. Well, I'll have it one day, though, right? I feel like Nate Davis is. I just feel like the only reason why he's up there as right guard number 1 is because of his money.
Yep.
If they did not pay him that contract, that could be Matt Pryor. That could be Ryan Bates. It should be Tevin Jenkins. Him next to Darnell Wright last year was a Hall of Fame combo. But I guess with some of the, to what you were saying, Aldo, about Braxton Jones, maybe he's kind of the help that he needs on that side a little bit, just because the bull rushes, like you said, they're going to come. And maybe that's why I honestly don't know why they have him on the left. He's a better right guard, but that could be one of the reasons why. I don't know. As far as the rest of the offensive line, I I'm kind of surprised they kept Doug Kramer, actually. Although
Well, I think
I did see somebody in chat saying how well he has played. I think it was J2K saying how well he has played, and kudos to him because coming out of college, he had a problem getting pushed onto his ass. Go ahead, PJ.
Well, I think someone just mentioned it earlier. Bates is going to be out, so besides Shelton, we have no center. So that's why you got to have Kramer there.
PJ, I have a roster in front of me that was taken by actually a member of CHGO. But there's just straight up no injury designation at this time for Ryan Bates. There's literally no injury designation whatsoever.
But I do think, Carl, that might be because next Thursday is when they release the injury list for the upcoming game. I don't think that they're going to reveal anything about Bates until then, if he is still injured, if he is still, incapable of playing. Because if he's fully 100% healthy, there's no doubt in my mind he would be either the center or the right guard. I'm pretty sure of that. But I think they're just there might be, I should say, Carl, there might be withholding any injury designation that Bates truly has.
Yeah, and I'm kind of like the flip side of the coin on that, right? Like if he is anywhere, closer to 0% than 100, maybe they would have already tried to maneuver a roster spot, whatever the case is.
True.
But I think that by the time they have to tell anyone if he's injured or not, he'll be healthy enough to at least serve as a backup. So...
What happened to Larry Barroom? I don't know.
I don't think that the actual injury was released, right? But he definitely came off on a cart, and he has an IR designation to return. So he has a legitimate injury.
Short-term IR.
Yeah, it was his ankle.
We get 2 preseason short-term, or prior to the beginning of the season, 2 players on short-term IR. The rest are gone for the season.
Yeah, I'm sure that was a very disappointing thing for the Bears to see, because I think they were contemplating releasing Barroom and getting rid of his $3 million from this year. So when he hobbled off the field, I bet you they were Pauls was saying, "Damn it! Now we're gonna have to pay him this $3 million."
You could be right about that. What do you guys think about moving on? Let's move on to wide receiver. Shocked about Velas? Happy, sad. What do you think? I was actually kind of, with the way they were pushing him at running back, I almost thought he might have been the 4th running back, and they would have kept another receiver on the starting, on the 53. What do you guys think about that?
Well, I think with Velas, he's going to play both, so it's not really. He's a wide receiver or running back. He's a little bit of both, more so just really our special teamer, because I've seen him doing, being a gunner on our special teams as well. But as far as the other guys, I could see at some point them probably trying to upgrade on DeAndre Carter. But other than that, I love our receiving room. I mean, our top 4 guys are solid.
I'm really happy that they kept Velas, and I've been a frequent critic of him when he makes mistakes, and lost my temper a few times and said, "Cut this motherfucker." But in reality, I'm still pulling for the guy. Now this is his 3rd year. Yeah, I mean, you can't find speed like that with football experience speed. That's hard to find, and you saw it when he ran back that running play against the Kansas City Chiefs, and all of the running plays. He's got his eyes downfield. He's making cuts. It's like he's been playing running back for a long time, and so there's no reason why he can't be used in a similar way that they used Tariq Cohen years ago, where he's running some plays. He's playing out in the slot wide receiver position. The thing, unfortunately, that I just will never trust him at is fielding punts and kickoffs. He just seems to always, not always, but almost every game, fuck up with one of those things or make things really frightening for us Bears fans. So maybe his home is just in that running back wide receiver. I have seen him on special teams playing like the gunner position and so forth. And he's got that big Cordero Patterson body that he could be used on special teams other than the skill player and could be used to, run down there and create pressure on the ball carriers. So I like Velus. I'm looking forward to a good year from him.
Yeah, somebody just need to give him a jugs machine for Christmas.
No shit.
He should have like 5 of them by now.
Yeah, since you can't do that during the game. What I would do during the game is I'm walking by with my Gatorade and I spill it all over his hands. Oh man, I know that shit's really sticky. I'm sorry, bro. He's got Gatorade hands. The ball's gonna stick to him.
Dude, I'm gonna go out there with Stickum like Bolitnikov and all those guys used to put it all over their body.
Oh,
I'm just gonna cover him in it. Fred Bolitnikov, man, he'd have it from his shoes to his helmet.
Yeah. Kyle, do you know who Fred Bolitnikov is?
All I can tell you is that the best wide receiver in college gets the Bolitnikov Award. Past that, I can't tell you jack shit.
Well, that's why I brought up the name, because he was one of the greatest.
Yeah, he's definitely good. But at least
was he your
Carl
son
knows
too?
That.
Yes, he is. No, wait, I think he was my father. No. So
that's a long time ago, man.
Ben Davidson was your father, Foster. Ben Davidson was. Yeah. All right, Foster, what do you think of the receiver?
Because me too, Aldo. I've criticized the guy, and I do that with anybody. You call it like you see it. Mm-hmm. And I kind of thought that once they because they just threw him in this running back position. Like to begin with, Shirty, I don't even on my list, he's listed as RB5. Yeah. I don't even have him in the wide receiver room because I see him playing gunner and more running back, and especially the running back in the backfield on the passing downs, coming out of the backfield. Part of your team formation, and man, if we could pull another guy back there, you'd be really happy, Shorty.
I would be.
You would be, I know. But I just think that's where I got him more than anything else. Is he is a running back at this point in time, but again, it's a 2-player designation. You know how Poles love guys that can play multiple positions. And anybody that is talented enough, and we don't even know exactly. We've seen what he's doing running. I think he looks good as a runner. But at some point in time, we're all going to be jumping up and down when he breaks one and he runs for a 60, 70-yard touchdown. It's going to happen this season, man. I don't know if that'll be out of the backfield or if it's going to be a short pass. That's, I'm just saying. Something up, dump it off to the running back. Yeah, well, that running back's got 4.3 speed, dude. Gone. So I figured Poles would keep him around, though. It's one of his draft picks, man.
Yep.
He likes his guys. He tries to remain loyal to his guys. But at least he's honest enough. And, even with Jatiri Carter, because we all had higher hope for Jatiri, I myself said by the end of his rookie season, he was going to be starting at right guard, I believe, or left guard, I might have said. Way off base. He didn't come through, but Poles at least released him early enough. He didn't hold him till the end because it's one of his guys, and he's just trying to do the right thing by the players. That's another thing that we've talked about a little bit, but how good he and how open he is with his players. Yeah. You hear other guys going around. Yeah. Like what's our old quarterback, the Red Rocket.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever see how he found out he was getting waived in Cincinnati? There's a whole video on it. Go look it up on YouTube. When they cut him, he had no idea. He was standing in the locker room. They just backstabbed him, man, out of Cincinnati. So you guys know I love Poles, and I think this running back room, the running back room is set. I think we could use another wide receiver. We've got the guy in the practice squad. I liked him last year when we got him. He had that great game. His problem has been staying healthy, though, consistently through college and the pros. That's why he's not on the Giants anymore. So time will tell on all of this, but I've got Velus listed as my RB5, and I think he'll see more action than Travis Homer will out of the backfield.
Mm-hmm. Carl, can you pull up that chat from DVD again about me not being here? Am I here?
No.
I started with the intentions of putting it on the screen when we got to it, but it came up. It felt fluid, and you're here, which is unfortunate, but.
I am here, though, right? I just want to make sure.
Not really.
This was during your technical difficulties, Daniel.
You ate those 7 Italian beefs, and this is like one of those digestive dreams you're having.
Yeah, I thought you said you were stocking up on Johnny's beef, not divulging each and every one of them at the same time.
Shout out to Bearsky for buying me a Johnny's beef and Foster.
Me too. He got us dinner, man, last night.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, we hung out with Bearsky on Tuesday night. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Is that a tax write-off for Bearsky? Are we evading taxes here on BCP?
Yeah.
There's your
I
chat,
don't know,
Dan.
but he asked me for $10 when I was leaving, so I just threw it at him and ran out the door. I'm joking, Paul. I'm totally joking.
To what Doug Van Dorn is saying here, though, Aldo, like I love anyone that hasn't done it already. You got another week to do it. I implore you to look at Shane Waldron's offense on Seattle.
I've seen it.
He runs a modern version of the T formation. I'll say it again, and everyone knows how I feel about the T formation. I cannot wait to see what they're going to do this year. And I was saying to you, Foster and Bearsky, on Tuesday night, I was saying this to the guy I work with at lunch yesterday. I am certain. It's like I went into the future and I saw it, and now I came back to this present moment. I promise you, we are winning the Super Bowl this year with a rookie quarterback. The first team ever to do it. I am certain of it. I feel it in my bone marrow. That's how confident I am. Oh, God, I hope I'm right.
Were any of those beef sandwiches laced with anything?
I think so, because I'll tell you this. Tuesday night at Polly's, that was like the only bad hour of the whole evening with Shorty going off on, they're winning it this year, man. I'm going. Everything's a lot. We got this, we got that. Simone Biles and blah, 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 blah.
Listen. We have 2.5 players going into the Hall of Fame. We drafted, I guess the word is generational. Somebody asked me, I was on a podcast, somebody asked me one word to describe Caleb Williams, when it's all said and done. And I said international. Caleb Williams is going to become international. He's going to become like our version of the football Michael Jordan. We look at what we're like. Our eyes are not failing us, and you have the Hall of Fame game. So they had the first pick when they shouldn't have had the first pick. They had an extra week of preparation for him with the Hall of Fame game. The Hall of Fame has 2.5 Bears in it. The Bears are on Hard Knocks. I mean, why wouldn't we just happen to win a Super Bowl? It's just like, this is the Bears year, guys. It's all Bears. And I freaking love it.
It is awesome. It is awesome. And I did a video for Buffon 55, and one of the things that I said in the video is that this team has been the talk of the football nation. 100%. It's captured the imagination of ESPN and Fox. It's like, and almost every one of those morning shows, they're talking about the Bears in that first segment, the A block, or the second segment, the B block. And there's so much to talk about and so much to look forward to. I just hope that they win this first game and that they win it, because I don't want to go through that fucking disappointment of, another blowing another home opener, it being really fucking disgustingly disappointing, and having Packers and Lions fans and Vikings fans just giving us shit. I know Caleb is going to be an outstanding quarterback. There's no doubt in my mind, but I hope that he gets off to a quick start. That's the big thing.
Mm-hmm. Shout out
and
to
Aldo,
Vinny
don't you
What's
think
up,
the
Vinny?
NFL? Sorry, Danny. I was going to say, Aldo, don't you think that the NFL is trying their hardest to have Caleb be successful by not having him start against a divisional opponent until after the bye week 9, week 10?
I can't say that for any certainty, because the Texans on the road in week 2, that's not great, but I don't think that they necessarily think about the schedule that way, to help a rookie quarterback out, because I've seen other instances, but I do know that the NFL loves it when the Bears are playing well, because even when they're not playing well, they bring in a lot of money with TV ratings and so forth. But when they're playing well, the NFL has had a taste of that, and they love that money that comes from Chicago and transplant to Chicago Bears fans throughout the nation. It's a fucking bonanza of money. And so, I think, so you're sort of right there, Carl. They want the Bears to win, but I don't know if they've done anything special to help them.
They should buy him a new stadium in Arlington Heights, but we don't have to talk about that right
now. Going into that though, like playing Green Bay on week 10 to play your teams in your own division, that's a little odd to me. Yeah. When was the last time something like that happened, guys?
I don't remember.
I don't ever remember them playing somebody that late in the season to play their 6 games in their division.
Yeah, it's like you're right. It's like it falls right in line with them winning the Super Bowl. They set them up for success.
Well, I think there's a little bit of help there, too. I really think they did look at it and say, okay, man, because I'm going to go back. You guys are talking about when the Bears are good, and John Madden said this. You guys got to remember, because he said when the Bears are good, the NFL's even better. If the Bears are winning, the NFL's making more money than almost any other team except for the Cowboys. And those, and it's true.
Yep.
The Bears fan base,
100% true.
That makes Shorty right already with his calling Caleb Williams international. He is already international because Chris Watts already knows who he is, Dan.
That's true. I mean, we are the most. Go on YouTube and just try to find a podcast for another team. You go if you search Chicago Bears podcast, you're going to come up with 300 of them. You search the Packers, you're going to get 3. And you search the Lions, you're going to get 2. Even name it, any team. Like we are, and I said this before we drafted Caleb. Like once this happens, like there's going to be the bars all over the country are going to be packed with Bears fans in every single city. Because we are such a huge fan base. We love our team. I think more than any other NFL team in the league. We are obsessed with the Bears. Obsessed. It runs our lives. And God, I'm just so I cannot wait to be sitting here a year from now and I'm going to buy myself like a mock Super Bowl trophy after we win the Super Bowl this year because I know it's happening.
Yeah, I've divorced my wives, but I've never left the Bears.
Exactly.
That's a powerful statement there, Foster.
That's a true statement.
I mean, seriously, it affects our week if we lose, or win. Aldo, if they put the stadium across the street from you, you're going to become a millionaire. Your house is going to like quadruple in value. Just wait like 2 years and sell it,
Oh my gosh.
Don't sell it, Aldo. You be it, man. You'll have that thing will be a money maker.
Yeah.
Just because of the location.
Yeah. It would be great. I've done the research. It would help property values here in Arlington Heights. I'd love for that to happen. But I'm disappointed that they aren't farther along, and at least it being Chicago. And I think it's bullshit that when Kevin Warren just recently said we are where we plan to be, that's bullshit. Yeah. They plan to have shovels in the ground by the end of the year, and that's definitely not fucking happening. So we're looking at a new stadium sometime around 2028, 2029. That's my guess. And it's, I'm not blaming Warren for it, but I think he's given up on the Arlington Heights and tried to move things to Chicago. He says because he loves the city and it's good for the city and so forth. I think it's just because he's trying to work the Arlington Heights tax officials to lower their bill. And when they do, he'll come back to Arlington Heights because they own all that fucking property. And that's the biggest money-making venture that a football team can do. You own that? Oh, man, you're going to lease that space. You're going to host Super Bowls, all sorts of shit. That's where you got to go. But
absolutely,
he's playing this game with the city, and I don't understand it. But whatever happens, I hope it happens quick. And I hope that I can enjoy visiting a new stadium and really being proud of it, unlike the bullshit the Sox did years ago. And United Center was all right, but I'm old enough, Foster knows, going to Chicago Stadium. And even though that place smelled like shit and piss, that was a great fucking stadium, man.
You were right on top of everything, man.
Exactly. You got great sight lines. It was so loud.
I almost got into a few games, Aldo.
The old back door, huh?
That's what she said, anyways.
Chicago area, Chicago sports fans deserve the new stadium. They don't deserve to foot the bill for it. We've made these guys fucking rich. And for fucking, excuse me for ranting here, but for fucking Jerry Reinsdorf going to the Illinois state politicians and begging for a new state, money for a new state, to basically pay for the whole fucking thing in the loop is a fucking, it shows that he's either gone senile or he really is a stupid fucking businessman. In the year where the White Sox could potentially be the worst team of all time, he's going to go with, with an empty hand asking for us to pay for a new fucking stadium? Get the fuck out of here. No fucking way, man.
He did it wrong the first time, man. Did it wrong the first time.
He sure fucking did. He sure fucking did.
Shout
all
out
those
to
theme songs. I love that.
Shout out to Triple R from Sports Chicago Style. Good to see Swifty and Chad again. Thank you guys for joining us.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Why are you always got to pick on me, dude?
Hey, we're lost without that paneling behind you now, Foster. We're lost.
I've got nothing but destruction here.
Let's move on to the tight end room, guys.
Burnout house in the western suburbs.
Tight ends. Let's go. What do you guys think? That's exactly what I thought they were going to keep.
Yeah, same here. There's no surprises for me. I'm disappointed that we wasn't able to get Bates to our practice squad, but other than that, this is exactly who I thought we would have.
Yeah.
Super solid group. You got versatility there in Mercedes Lewis. God bless him. 19 years in the league. He's going to be a part of some special plays, probably, blocking downfield. But
from the T formation.
Yeah, for the T formation, exactly. But he's going to catch a great big pass here and there, and he's going to help this. I'm glad he's back. I love having that veteran presence, on the team. But that's a solid group. I would say they are probably between 10 and 12 top tight end groups in the league. What do you guys think?
I wholeheartedly agree. Who else? I mean, okay, everybody, and we've talked about it because my Bates was, I wanted him to make the team, man. I just was like, this guy Bates has got all the tools, plus he's got a huge heart because when you watch him, he just don't stop. He fights and tries for every inch, man. I mean, harder than I've seen some guys in a while. To me, he's got that heart. But we all knew who else were you going to keep? Those guys were already set the day training camp opened. They pretty much were set to be the three guys. So there's no surprise, and there shouldn't be any surprises. We should be set for the year on that, barring injury with those guys.
100% agree. Mercedes Lewis looks like he's 25.
I was talking, and Aldo he's like, "Fuck this, Foster's talking, I'm out."
No, my streamer just kicked me out, man. They just said, get the fuck out of BCP. But I'm back.
On cue.
LeBlanc, if the guy learns to hold on to the ball, he's going to be something. I just got a gut feeling about that guy too. We released him.
So we're talking wide receivers.
Oh, that was wide receiver. I'm ahead of you guys. I'm ahead of it. Sorry.
Okay. I gotta tell you,
I like Brennan Bates too. I wish they would have found a spot for him at least on the practice squad. Sorry, Aldo, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, he was gonna go on the practice squad, but that's the danger of when you are cutting guys down to get your 53. You're hoping guys will sneak through, and Bates, every other team in the league was looking at him, and they said, this guy, if he becomes available on waivers, snatch him. And some reporter, I forgot who it was, said that's the sign that you got a really deep roster when other teams are taking guys off of waivers that you've dropped. The 49ers, I think the Chiefs and one other team were the only teams with two players who were taken off of waivers from their squad, and the Bears were one of a handful. So it's a good sign that the roster is improving.
Although to the flip side of that too, I'm pretty sure the Panthers claimed 5 players off of waivers.
Look at that.
So they're on the opposite side of the fucking spectrum.
Was there a team in Chicago that was trying to do that a couple of years ago? If they had the money, think about it.
Yeah, no,
that was us. That was us.
Remember it happening a lot during the Ryan Pace years, where he was trying to transform the roster, and he would pick up everybody except my grandmother who was on waivers. But now this team is really, really there. You can feel it. The proof is in the video. The possibilities for this team to have sustained success, and that means playoffs, a Super Bowl, playoffs. That can definitely happen, man. So happy.
God, it's like, how is it? I mean, 2 years. Look at what Ryan Poles did. 48 of our 53 players are new players from the Ryan Poles tenure.
2 years ago today.
And one of them is a long snapper. That's the holdover from before. So really, I know long snappers are players too, but there's really 4 guys that are position players that came from the Pace era. Then you add Patrick Scales as the long snapper. 48 players that Poles has flipped this team into in 2 years. It's mind-boggling what he has. Poles is a fucking genius. Get the statue ready.
Yep.
It's been 3 years at this point, right? Like, this is his 3rd year, but the point still stands. Right. The point still stands.
Yeah.
Right. 2 years ago today. Pick up the roster from 2 years ago today. That's what I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. It's literally, I know he came in 8 months earlier, but it's the difference in 2 seasons. It's I don't recall that big of a change anywhere, not that I'm aware of, over 2 seasons, from the start of one season to the start of 2 seasons later, not where you've got 4 guys left on your roster from that team. That just doesn't even happen, I don't think.
The power of Poles compels you.
Even the Cowboys rebuild.
Next week we'll have that as an audio bite. Don't you worry. Totally forgot to do that.
I love it.
It's BCP's content as well. It's from that draft live stream. So Triple R, don't attack us, please.
Yeah, we got to take that from Triple R, not me. It's Triple R's. That's his phrase.
We're not taking anything. We're utilizing BCP's content. Don't get it twisted here. We don't need any lawsuits on the BCP live stream here.
PGT, man. Poles got this. Been saying that since he was hired.
And I know all of these guys in the chat, and you guys all know that Ian Cunningham is probably going to become a general manager next season. That's going to return 2 more draft picks for the Bears. And there was a news report of an informal survey among NFL general managers, and they listed Ian Cunningham as a future GM. So it's almost assured, the exposure that he's gotten on Hard Knocks, the great draft, the way the Bears and Ryan Poles are promoting his work and so forth. There's no doubt in my mind he's going to get that job. And so it'll probably happen at the end of this season, and that's more good news. We'll lose his great mind, but that's more good news in terms of draft assets for the team.
But that's also going to be a potential huge positive because you have that rapport with him. Not that they would collude or anything stupid like that, but if you want to make a move that's is going to help both sides, that's probably going to be the first guy you call.
Yep. Exactly.
And Poles literally said, I don't know if it was on Hard Knocks or what it was, but he said essentially his goal is to turn this franchise into a general manager factory. He doesn't want to just hoard and keep these people on his staff, whatever the case is. He wants to take the man, make them better, and turn them into another general manager.
That's the way it should be.
I don't want him to do that yet. I want him to make Ian Cunningham the general manager and then make himself a position just above that. Then we can turn out GM. Because I just think those guys I don't know, there's something about them, man. When I was out there watching them walk around the field together, last year in Indianapolis, when the Bears had the combined practice, I hung out with Swifty, as a matter of fact. And watching those guys walk around talking and pointing at stuff, there's just something about the chemistry they have when it comes to going over players. I hope that we find somebody comparable to assist Poles in the future. It scares
Foster
me.
makes a good point. Sometimes when you've got that chemistry, when you got that bond, it could be at the safety position. It could be a general manager, assistant general manager. It could be general manager and coach. It could be a double play combination. When you've got that gold combination, don't try whatever you can to not disrupt it. Keep it as long as you can. But and it would have to be Poles moving up in the organization and Cunningham becoming the GM, because you don't want to deny Cunningham that dream, and you want to reward Poles. So that, Foster, you make a good point.
It's
no super chats?
How many after the Bears split after the '85 Super Bowl? How many Super Bowls did either one of those coaches win? And I'm talking about Buddy and Ditka. They won nothing without each other. But they were great together, even though they didn't like each other. They were still great together because of just the mind, the way it worked, the way it all turned out. I got to throw McMahon in there too, because that guy probably called more audibles when he was quarterback in the Bears than any quarterback ever for the Bears.
Yeah,
I love your idea of that, Foster. Just created, like, instead of letting Ian Cunningham go, just create a position for him that you move him, you elevate him in the hierarchy of the organization. Make him I don't know, whatever, something comparable to the general manager. Or
what? No super chats?
What? No super chats, guys? What's going on here?
Jody fits.
Swifty.
Well, but see, how come nobody said nothing last year when I said the same thing a year ago? You didn't comment on it. I just got to mess with you. I've been talking about it for over a year. Yeah. Hey, do we even have a Cash App?
No, we don't. That's what's so funny.
Yes, we do. Let's just make one right now. Send us money, please.
Put my bank account number in there, guys.
We need super chats to fix Foster's mic, guys, please.
Yeah. Can you help with the house too?
Your mic just turned on you again, Foster.
Son of a bitch.
Where'd you get that mic, man? Kmart?
Are you using Greg Gabriel's mic? Are you using Greg Gabriel's internet? What's going on over there?
I'll be right back and grab a beer.
Okay. No, Swifty, that came from CHGO. CHGO they had a show that was going on an hour, and Nicholas Moriano just out of nowhere goes, "What? No super chats?" I'm just. Oh wait, by this, I said CHGO. Sorry. There you go.
What's up, Samo? What's up, man?
Samo, man, this sucks. I'm a guest on my own show. I can't see the chat. This sucks, man. I don't know how many people there are watching. I don't know who's in chat.
138 in the chat.
Yeah, we're stacked up right now, gentlemen.
Oh, sweet. Thank you guys for joining us. Let's get to chat again real quick. Who else has hopped in since the last time?
Dr. Truth is in there.
Dr. Truth.
Dr. Truth. We got Jay Grizz.
Vinny Parisi had a great comment earlier. He said, "Is this the most handsome assembly of men on the sports podcasting world that he has ever seen?"
You're damn
He's getting aggressive. He was shoving it down everyone's face.
Vinny Parisi. That's because he tried to hijack this show a couple years ago, man.
He's hijacking your microphone. Oh my
probably
god!
Trying to do it again, Short. He's probably trying to get in here again. That dude is.
That was fun.
Great.
Come on the show. I come on the show. And it's the South Burbs Hitmen on here doing their show on a Thursday night at 8:00.
Foster, you gotta kill it, man. Restart. Do a restart. Get out of here and restart. You're all messed up.
Fuck Green Bay.
Aldo, we did a show where Vinny and Joe were on, and I think Zim was on too, and they opened the show like it was the South Burbs Hitmen.
Awesome.
And then Foster comes in, he like pops in, he's like, "Wrong show, wrong time, wrong network."
Custard on your
I gotta look at that. That's hilarious. I love it.
That was fun. That was a fun show. We gotta have you guys.
Vinny knows his football. He's been working over at Bears Wire. He's very well versed on what's happening at the team. Cliff, I love that.
Nice, Cliff.
Anything else regarding these wide receivers? You know, I'm not that big of a fan of DeAndre Carter, but I realize that they need somebody to run punts, and they don't want to risk Velus or Rome Odunze doing it for different reasons.
I think they feel confident enough with DeAndre Carter, or maybe there's a chance in hell it's Rome Odunze. I know you guys really hate that idea, even though Kyron Williams just got confirmed to be the Rams punt returner. But there's a player on the Seahawks that got cut, D. Eskridge. I thought he would have been a perfect candidate to at least be claimed, see if he could return some punts. I don't know what happened to him, but the Bears absolutely didn't get him, which I was kind of disappointed on.
Yeah, you know, they had, the 9th waiver claim, so, you know, he might have been gone. Was he claimed at all? Do you know, Carl?
No, I have no idea.
Okay. See, the thing is I'm not that afraid of Rome running punts. You guys are?
I don't want to risk injury.
I love it. Yeah, no, I love it. Yeah, I wanted to play this. I wanted to play this, Dan.
Or that it farted on your face, Steve.
PJ's just sitting there like, these guys are fuck ups.
As I'm taking a sip.
He just said, these fucking white guys. With their corny ass shit.
To Swifty's point, I mean, any Chicago Bears player taking a fair catch 90% of the time is, I wouldn't say the expectation, but I think I'd be okay with it at this point. I mean, they definitely don't have a Devin Hester right now, which is fine. Yeah. They don't necessarily need it.
The last thing I have to say about the wide receiver group is when and where did Dante Pettis get injured, and how the fuck is he on injured reserve again? And it looks like
wasn't this the exact same story last year?
Yeah,
like a mystery behind a whole IR year out situation.
I feel sorry for him.
They designated 2 for return on IR, which means he's for the season, right?
Yeah, he's done. He does not have a designation to return. He's in the exact same boat as Wheeler.
Yeah. He was injured in the KC game, right? Late in the game?
I'm sure he got injured. I'm not saying that he's faking an injury. I'm positive he got injured, but I don't know when. Swifty, thank you. I mean, he caught a punt against Buffalo. I think it was Buffalo. And he was naked, right? Like butt naked in an ocean, and all of a sudden he's got players on top of him. He has just nothing. His 40 time speed is a sham at this point.
It was a 4.3 coming out of college.
Now it's a 4.8. I bet on that. BetUS. Fuck Dante Pettis. I am sorry, gentlemen.
Yeah. I agree. 100%. How about running back? Let's get the running back then. Man, it's pretty much what we all thought it was, except for Travis Homer, I think. I can't believe he made the game.
Well,
I mean, PJ, I was just going to say, I don't think that Travis Homer is going to be in the rotation for snaps at the running back position during a football game. I think that he beat out the likes of Brendan Bates and was one of those 50 to 53 last man in as someone who was, A, familiar with Shane Waldron potentially, but B, because of his special teams ability.
Yeah,
God, please.
I was a little bit shocked with seeing Travis Homer make it over Bates, because I thought that, with the way they was grooming Velus Jones, that he would probably got more of a chance to play the special teams, and then we can move on from Travis, because the reality is Travis. We may not think Travis is going to get a lot of running back reps. However, if he's there for special teams and we only can dress 46 players, if they need a running back, he will be the running back they have. So you may see games where Velus may not even dress. I mean,
PJ, I would love to have Velus not dress, but I think Velus actually is your key to that emergency situation, like what happened in Washington last year, where Kari Blasingame was taking meaningful snaps. Velus Jones has that versatility to. I don't like the idea of Velus Jones playing special teams. We'll get to that when we look at the defense. But Velus Jones could fill in at either wide receiver or running back in an emergency situation, and obviously you'd hope he's able to start fielding kicks.
Well, the point I was trying to make is that, if we're looking at Velus as a running back, for the Bears to dress on game day with 46 slots, having 5 of them being running back, I seriously doubt that would happen. What do you think, Aldo?
I'll tell you this. Remember last season, there were 3 games, I think, where our third string running back, the guy we picked up from the Panthers, he's gone now. He had some excellent
Deontay Foreman.
Thank you. Deontay Foreman was
and
the
story. Yes, Aldo, the story you're about to narrate is the exact same thing that happened to him and is why he was waived by the Browns, I believe.
Oh, okay. So he's out in the street now. Huh? So, but what I was going to say is that Herbert and Johnson were both hurt, and that forced Foreman to be the starter. So you need that fourth running back, even if he's not activated for every 50 for all 17 games, only half of those games. And Homer, we all know his special teams ability, but Homer was deactivated some games too when the 3 running backs were healthy. So he's just a piece. Travis Homer is just a piece, and I don't think he's God's gift to special teams play. That you're going to see him definitely be a part of the roster and a Pro Bowl candidate for special teams play. But he's trustworthy, and he can catch the ball out of the backfield, which is important. In fact, I think I pulled up his stats here. Last year, he caught says here he caught nothing. He was targeted. He didn't catch anything. So for some reason, I thought he caught a couple of passes last year, but he didn't catch anything. But we've seen him do it with Seattle and in preseason. Homer is good, but I think a lot of people are right. If Wheeler would have been healthy, he probably might have taken over for Homer, or maybe Bates. The injury helped Homer get on the team. Not the injury, but being picked off a practice squad. Maybe that helped Homer make the team. But overall, this running back squad is definitely a plus. I would say they are also the top 12 running back teams in the entire NFL.
Your mic just turned into a pile of shit too, Aldo. What just happened?
Yeah, big Foster moment there. Uh-oh. He's in the tank, gentlemen.
Testing, 1, 2, testing.
Oh, yeah, you're testing successfully. Yep.
Better?
Much better.
Yep. To me, like Ian Wheeler just proves to me that I know that I know what I'm looking at, because last year when we did the well, not last year, but this year when we did the live draft coverage, we had Adam Mason on, we had a bunch of guys on with us. Triple R was on with us. It was a great time. And I remember I was like, okay, who's the fastest? I think it was like the 3rd or 4th round. I was like, who's the fastest guy? We need more speed. Who's the fastest guy left? And then we looked him up, and the Dolphins took him. And then I was like, okay, who's the fastest guy left now? And then we looked it up, and then the Chiefs took him. I'm like, God, what the fuck? And then when it got all the way onto the UDFAs, I was like, okay, who's the fastest guy out of these guys? And it was Ian Wheeler. And I started doing, looking him up, and I was like, oh, this guy could be that piece that I was hoping for, to add speed to the team. And man, the kid really, really performed well. I mean, and he has the speed, he has explosiveness. What a shame! What a shame for him to blow his knee, man. I literally shed a tear. I came back from from that night with you and Bearski, Foster, and I rewatched the Hard Knocks, and I shed a tear. I was just like, this sucks, man. What a great kid, man. Just a travesty.
I love just getting into the filmmaking part of that Hard Knocks scene. I love that they made the decision to keep that entire hug between him and his mom, because as it was happening, my wife and I are looking at each other, and she, after like 5-7 seconds, she says, "I'm starting to cry." And I said, "I am too." And it went on for another 10 seconds or so. And that embrace, I mean, God, you just felt it. Mother and son, dreams shattered, the support, hope for a renewal. It was, the hug was so long. You're thinking about all these things, about the significance of this moment. It was really unbelievable. Great moment.
Yeah. Yeah. You too, Sam, huh? Got you too, right? It's man, it sucks.
Full disclosure, I did not shed a tear. I just want to put it out there.
Hey, Jay, what's up, man?
I did.
Oh, why not?
Cry, right, PJ?
No, it wasn't that. It's like, I had a similar experience happen with one of my grandsons when he got injured. And I mean, you feel it, but that's what builds that toughness within you to try harder next year. Yeah. So, I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, I felt it. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying I didn't feel it, but I just didn't shed a tear because I'm like, this is the reality that a lot of people really don't understand about football. These are the things that happen. I mean, there are a lot of guys who has been on the brink of making it big and get hurt, and you'll never hear about them. And this is the reality. So I'm glad they was able to show that for those of you who never really got a chance to play sports and see sports up close and personal like this. This is what really happens a lot of times in a lot of different sports. And unfortunately for me, I have seen it happen so many times that I've kind of gotten a little bit hard on it to where it's like, man, that's tough. That really is tough. But that's the business.
Yeah. Well said.
Very well said. So what are we looking at here? We got.
I don't think Foster went as far as his thoughts on the running back room.
Yeah, Foster's back now. Let's see how you sound.
Like crap, right?
Yeah, you sound fine. Good. You're good.
Okay.
Yeah, you sound like crap, like you normally do.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Every day, man. Big crap. Real quick, I'll touch on what you guys. I mean, that I was moved on that too, man. I don't know if you saw it, Shorty, when we were sitting there. We all were. All three of us were kind of moved on it. Yeah, we already knew what had happened and what had gone on, and then to watch it, knowing the end result, we already know everything that happened. So it was touching and heartwarming, but I didn't cry. I mean, stuff happens to people in life every day that, I mean, things could be a lot worse for that young man. I pray to God that everything's successful and we see him on the field next year kicking ass,
Right. Right.
So I'll leave that at that. And then now we're talking running backs. You guys covered most of it. I mean, the only thing I can add is Bellis is going to play that position. I brought it up when we were talking wide receivers. Wait, how did we get back to? Were we talking about running backs before?
No.
Yeah, we did circle.
No, you were talking about Valus, and you started to run that way, but then I think we had to slow you down, or I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. So it's back to the running room. I mean, here we know exactly what we have with these guys. We know Khalil Herbert should be the guy. That's the change of pace because we've seen in previous seasons what he can do. I know he had great numbers last year as far as yards per carry. We have a pretty good idea if you just take what DeAndre Swift did last year. Now, is our offensive line going to be up to the capabilities of helping him achieve that the combined yards that he had? Because I think he had like 1,050 rushing and the rest in receiving, which 200 or 300 yards. I'm expecting more from Roschon Johnson this year. That's all. I mean, I really like him. He can pass block. He can catch the ball out of the backfield. I just don't know when he's hitting the hole. Sometimes it seems like there's like something happened with him because he looked better earlier and then kind of I don't know if it was that injury that messed him up last year.
He had like multiple concussions or dealt with a concussion for a while. My point to Roshan Johnson was I think we saw him feature in the Hall of Fame game and essentially was like redshirted afterwards. They didn't let him touch the field in preseason. Do you guys think that means because they have a high expectation of him and want to keep him fresh for the season?
I think he tweaked something.
I was thinking that before you said that. Maybe, yeah.
It could be.
Swift is saying not enough Swift talk. You guys, if you guys are talking running backs, he just wants us to talk about Swift because he's Swift.
Peep the depth chart.
Yeah, well, no. Yeah, I mean, so let's talk about DeAndre Swift.
Did you miss that though, Shorty? DeAndre Swift Sports.
DeAndre Swift Sports.
I watched it as it was happening. Who did it?
Yeah, which one of you bozos did that?
I got it, Carl. I'm swifter than the whole bunch of these guys. Hey,
quick and easy, right? You're used to that, Aldo?
Exactly, in every aspect of my life.
Amen. That makes two of us.
Let me ask you this question about Swift. Do you think he is going to be one of the top fantasy running backs, PPR? I don't know how much of you guys talk about fantasy on this show, but I'm going to have a draft soon, and I've been thinking in my mind, if he's available in the 4th round, he could get a lot of fantasy points.
That was where he was taken in our fantasy league in PPR, Aldo. So Adam Mason hosted a really cool little fantasy draft for Bears fans. He got 2 leagues filled up, but it was non-PPR. So I'm going to stay as far away from running backs. Or no, actually reverse. I would want to have a good running back, but not a player like Swift, because Swift's value, in my opinion, is catching the football. Exactly. But in the ESPN league that is PPR, he could catch 40, 50, 60 passes. So he went in the 4th round.
Yeah, see, and I think that's, first of all, the whole offense right now is a great, beautiful mystery for defensive coordinators. They really don't know what the Bears are going to trot out week 1. How are they going to use these 3 wide receivers? How are they going to use these 3 tight ends? How are they going to use these 3 running backs? It's going to be fucking unbelievable. They've clued a little bit about how they want Caleb to play. They want him to be conservative and do things on time. And then they want him to introduce the X factor when he is – J2K says, I wouldn't draft any Bears on offense for the sole reason they will be playing with a ton of short fields. Our defense That's a great fucking point, J2K.
100%.
A great point. Yeah. Another complication in the whole fantasy fucking world of ours. You got to think about this too. The defense is so good, it's going to hurt the offense. But, back to the NFL, it's going to be really a great mystery, and hopefully that'll help the Bears get off to a 2-0, 3-0, whatever start, or 3-1. So I'm really excited about what we can potentially see, and I hope that it's effective. There aren't any turnovers. There aren't any big mistakes. There aren't any fucking offensive offsides, offensive line penalties. But it's exciting, guys.
It's so exciting, Aldo. It's so exciting.
BJ looks super excited.
What is side note, what is your record prediction?
Mine?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
Last year you had him 13-4.
Yeah. One more beer and I'll say 17-0. But here's the interesting thing is that over in the Atlantic, a guy named Sal Rando, he did a survey. He listed 3 NFL quarterbacks as tier 1 quarterbacks. These are the guys that win you a lot of games. Mahomes, Josh Allen, and the third guy was Joe Burrow. And then he listed the tier 2 quarterbacks, and there was about 5 or 6 of them in there, and then tier 3, and then tier 4. The Bears do not face any of the tier 1 quarterbacks. And the Bears only face 3 of his tier 2 quarterbacks, 3 or 4 or something like that. But among the lowest, the Bears, Packers, and Vikings are the 3 teams that only face 3 tier 2 quarterbacks. So what does that tell you? Because bettors will tell you, you don't bet on teams, you bet on the quarterbacks. Which team has the better quarterback, right? So the way I looked at it is the Bears should get 10 victories easy, and maybe they beat one or two of the tier 2 quarterbacks in this, so that's potentially 11 or 12 victories. So I'm going to say that the Bears are going to win. I'm going to be conservative this time, as opposed to being a fucking radical loon the last time. I'm going to say they're going to be 10-7, just like Foster says in his predictions.
Okay. You're going to be wrong, but I accept that.
I hope so.
Yeah, we hope so. We hope so in the other direction, up.
Yeah, so I like Shorty's number, 13-4.
11, 12.
Is there anyone in chat? I want to know. Does anyone think that they're going to win the Super Bowl this year like I do? Like
I do not.
I expect it at this point. That's how confident I am.
Just hope you ain't ready to throw the team away if we don't reach that Super Bowl there, Shorty. That's all I'm asking.
Anything is possible.
PJ, sorry, Foster. I just want to see if PJ wants to revise his record prediction before this was all done. I think this was done before the draft. I can't remember, but I'm just curious if the Bears have moved the needle at all for Mr. PJ.
Yeah, PJ, you got to.
No, Shorty and I actually talked about this last week. I told him that, we need to redo this prediction, and I gave him a preview and told him that, my prediction will change.
Good.
I'm not going to say what it is because I'm still hoping we can do this show probably next week or something where we can redo the predictions here. But yes, I will admit my prediction has changed because, again, I've seen some things in preseason that I was hoping to see and I was worried about seeing because I thought Eberflus did a better job of playing the starters than he did last year. That's why according to this prediction, I had it starting off 0-4 again because I was concerned about, oh boy, we're going to sit up here and miss out on playing our starters and having them ready for the season. Whereas now that has changed for me. I think, okay, he did a better job. Still not as much as I would have liked him to have played him, but he still did a better job.
You had them losing the first 4 games and then 3 out of 4 starting with Green Bay week 11 to Vikings. Man, that's a lot of losing in short spans.
Brutal.
I got a question for all of you guys, and I'll start with you, Peach. Those first 10 weeks, there's 9 games. Do you think there's any way that they could win 7 or 8 of those 9 games?
Yeah.
Now I do, yes.
That's because I mean my things change too. I'm looking at it. I'm looking at this going, I think we can do a little better than that. But I feel confident that that's at least where we're going to be. So what do you think, Aldo, in those first 10 weeks?
I keep saying that the key game, of course, is that road game against the Texans because they are going to beat the Titans at home week 1. There's just no fucking way about it. I guess the only way I can show my confidence, I'm going to put $100 down in one of the betting services that the Bears are going to win outright that game against the Titans. And then
you got the number, right?
Yeah.
Just bet it with me. That way I can keep it. I'm joking.
All right. But the tough one is going down to Houston and playing the Texans because they got a good defense. That D'Amico Ryan's defense is good, and we know what that young quarterback did last year. Although I think our defense is going to play well against their defense because our defensive backfield is so fucking talented. But that's going to be a tough game. I'm certain the Bears are going to go to Indianapolis and beat the Colts because Anthony Richardson can't throw the fucking ball. That Colts team is going to be so predictable. They're either going to run Taylor or they're going to run Richardson. Use BetUS. LOL.
BetUS. By the way, we are brought to you by BetUS. Get 125% sign-up bonus with the link below. bit.ly/Bears Country Podcast -BetUS. And also make sure you guys go check out the PSF app. Download the PSF app and find the Bears chat room. I don't know what's going on with it yet, but Sean Salisbury is the president of the company, And last year, Lester Wiltfong and I, Junior and I, we're doing game casts on there, and I think that we're still going to be doing that again this year. So if you are going to bet, Aldo, use BetUS. It'll give us a little bit of cash in our pocket. And PJ,
if you're going to bet, please bet responsibly.
Yes. What? No super chats?
Always. I don't want to mess around too much with my grandson's inheritance. What do you got there, Foster? Oh, look at that.
I got my BetUS catalog, man.
I love it.
Nice.
Really beautiful.
It's got every game, college and pro.
Oh, wow.
It's very, very thorough, man. And
hold up that cover again.
Michael,
doesn't that look like a younger PJ?
Aldo, keep it in your pants. Keep it in your pants, Aldo.
I'll be damned. An old Michael Vick looks like a young PJ.
It does.
Full disclaimer. I own no dogs.
Said that about my penis once.
Full disclaimer, what?
I own no dogs.
No dogs.
God bless you. Keep them dogs away from Michael Vick. All right, back to the roster.
Yeah. So moving on, we're on defense now, right?
Yes.
Can I have one more question about the offense? Because Bagent plays a clear role. Quarterbacks get hurt, and what's the level of confidence you guys have in Bagent coming in and doing even better than the 2-2 starting record he had last year? Maybe if he's got to play 4 games, is it 3-1? Could it be 4-0?
Of course,
I'd place a bet on BetUS on him doing better.
Really nice.
Of course, it depends on the competition who he's playing, but I think he has improved from last year.
Yeah, he has.
I think his arm has gotten stronger. Of course, he's gotten more savvy with how the NFL is going. So I think he would do better. Whether or not that translated wins and losses, I don't know.
Yeah.
By the way, knock on some wood, Aldo. There's no injury to Caleb Williams happening this year, guys.
Aldo, you son of a bitch. Shout out to Aldo. Wow, what a man.
I am very confident in Tyson Bagent. I mean, you guys know how I feel. But it got to the point where I would go into somebody's chat room. They'd be like, no Bagent talk, shorty. So you guys know how I feel about him.
I love it.
We bring it up.
He's to me, he's future trade bait. Foster, your mic just took a shit again.
Motherfucker, because I wanted to tell you what I think of Bagent. Wait.
You gotta go. What's going on over there, dude? You gotta reset again, or
hot custard on your spotted dick.
Damn, I wanted to say something about Bagent. Terrible
stuff.
You're
good now.
Better now.
Oh.
You're good.
Okay, so Bagent has done what it takes to succeed anywhere, and he's done nothing but put in hard work. We watched it happen all summer. As we went through the shows, I remember Dan starting off early mid spring where, man, did you see those the pictures of Bagent? And I was like, yeah, dude, he looked like a different body type almost. And when he was talking about getting his ass behind it and working on himself, he did it. So that and what we saw last year, and then what we saw in preseason, I know it was against second string, but I have more confidence in him than I definitely did last year. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that.
Your mic took a shit again.
Something were to happen, I'd be grateful that we have him.
Dude, go reset your internet. Did you do that last time? What?
Twice he says he did.
I think I got a new modem.
Do you have like a plug into the computer, anything? Because it sounds like there might be dust on your quarter phone mic plug-in or whatever you use. Take it out and blow some cigarette smoke on it.
Like the old Nintendo games, you gotta blow on the cartridge.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I'm gonna be listening on the phone. I might even hop on the phone because it might just be better.
Okay. Probably would be. You sound like shit again.
Hey, Dan, shut the fuck up.
Yeah,
not only is it sounding bad, staticky, but it seems like his voice is sped up.
Yeah, because that's his internet, I think. Yeah,
it seemed like he's like talking really fast.
But, Shorty was right. Remember those old days? You take the video game out, you maybe it'll work now. Kyle doesn't remember those days. He's fucking part of the.
That's a lie.
Generation.
That's slander. I absolutely am a master blower when it comes to Game Boy Color cartridges.
All right.
Yeah. Pause.
Just stop that master blower.
I'm not Dan Aguirre. I'm not at that level yet.
I got to make sure I get an audio clip of you saying you're a master blower.
Exactly.
Oh yeah, is that you want to go down that route? That's what you want to go down, bro? You had to poke the bear, brother. I'm sorry. You had to poke the bear, man.
Fuck you, Carl.
No, I decline. I did not have sexual relations with that man.
None whatsoever.
Good stuff. All right,
Okay.
Defense.
Defense. Is it with a C or an S? How do you spell it? Oh, by the way, Aldo, Chris Watts is coming in again this year.
Yes. Awesome. Do you know the dates?
Not yet. Somewhere. Well, Jason UK Bear, who does the British Bears show with Chris Watts, he's coming in with his girlfriend as well. Yeah, him. Yeah, he's coming in on the 18th. He's coming in from the 18th to the 30th of December.
Oh, okay.
And we're going to We're all going to 2 games together. Again, yeah, it's gonna be great.
So you're going to that home Vikings game where it'll be about 10 degrees December 26th?
We're going to the home Lions game and then the Seahawks game on Thursday night.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Yeah,
I got to get my schedule going.
I'm sure Chris is going to want to see you again, so we'll have to
We'll definitely get something together. Absolutely.
Absolutely, yeah. All right, moving on to defense. Jalen Johnson actually is. No, Jalen Jones. I'm sorry. Do you guys realize he's a holdover from the Pace era too? He's one of those 5 guys.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I didn't either.
Yeah.
He's a
Jalen Jones.
Mm-hmm.
He's a good player. These backup cornerbacks, Jalen Jones and Terrell Smith, according to Carl's unofficial depth chart here, are excellent backups. And you got to love this cornerback group: Jalen Jones, Jalen Johnson, Terrell Smith, Tyreek Stevenson. 4 excellent players. Terrell Smith could be starting on any team. Team.
Yep.
And we're leaving out the slot cornerbacks, and which are, of course, Kyler Gordon and Josh Blackwell. Excellent players, man. That's a great defensive backfield. Maybe could be the best since hell. We have to go back to the '85 Bears when they had Dave Durson and Leslie Frazier and who was the guy that scored the touchdown in the Super Bowl? Anthony Richardson. Thank you. And,
no, not Anthony Richardson.
No, right. It's not Anthony Richardson. That's the guy with the coat.
What was his first name?
Something Richardson.
Help us out, chat.
Come on, chat.
Richardson. Mike Richardson. Thank you.
Jay Grizz.
Thanks, Jay Grizz.
Send Jay Grizz a special bottle of something.
I call him Grizzly Bear.
I agree with Aldo as far as the cornerback room. I think it's actually one of the best in the league. Yeah. So I feel real good about it. I'm confident that if by chance, somebody goes down, that we still should be okay. I really like our cornerback room. And I think it was some tough decisions to be made when it comes down to having to put Reedy on the practice squad and letting Stroman go. So yeah, I'm feeling very good about it. I think we have a very good cornerback.
Yeah, PJ, you stole the words out of my mouth, man. I mean, Reddy Steward's on the practice squad. That's how good this roster is. And that secondary is as talented as any unit in the NFL, in my opinion. Maybe only team that's close is the Ravens. Just don't want Bears fans to sleep on Jalen Jones. He has always been the first cornerback that has came in for anything that's ever happened to Jalen Johnson in recent memory, and he has looked fine. He's obviously not an all-pro or anything stupid.
Right.
And I really am a huge fan of Josh Blackwell. I'm trying to see if I can find a nice jersey of his that isn't the full price. If I can get anything under full price, I'm buying that shirt because this player is great. He's the player. I made a comment regarding Valus Jones as the gunner. I want Josh Blackwell being the gunner, playing every special team snap because he's just as solid as it gets, and I'm a huge fan of Blackwell as well.
Go to Fanatics for your jersey, man. See if you can find it cheap there.
I don't want to fuck around with that stuff. I'm sure that that's a fine alternative, but I just want to get it right from the source, man.
Okay.
Go to the Bears
Where are we
game,
at?
ask him for his jersey.
I should. I'll keep plugging him on here. I'll see if they can get him on the podcast. Who knows what happens? So let's figure it out. Josh Blackwell. Here, let me put the email address on the screen for you, Mr. Josh Blackwell. I don't know if you have hard knock struggles, but that's what it is.
Love it. Do you
And
guys?
if any of you Bears players do have hard knock struggles, please reach out to us. We can't help.
I love it.
But if you have a trouble getting a hard on, just please refer to Aldo specifically and keep Bears Country Podcast out of that.
Absolutely.
Aldo's got a giant
Dan will
bowl
be
of
calling him up,
Viagra
Carl.
sitting on his.
Shorty's trying not to be too inclusive. He's talking from experience. He's like, I need to
He's gonna be
teeter on what I can and can't say.
Although if anybody does respond, Dan will be the first guy calling you. Believe me. Believe us.
Horny goatweed, guys, go for it. It's available at all your homeopathic remedy joints. Horny goatweed. A couple of those, and you'll be stiff for about 48
Or a
hours.
Rhino 69 and a honey pack.
There you go.
Or what's that? Text Boost Max or something like that.
Yeah, why not?
I don't know. I just slam
Whatever
it in a door.
Testosterone booster, Nugenics Total T. What are we talking about? Hashtag not an ad.
You know, what, I want to say, like, this, looking at this roster, what it
What,
says
no
to
super
me
chats?
is that what it says to me is that Ryan Poles believes in the players he drafts, because you've got Velus Jones sticking around after really not doing very much his whole career up to this point. You got Noah Sewell. To me, is
Can we just stick to the cornerbacks?
yeah. Sorry, we'll get to linebackers. But
Well, I was actually going to ask you guys. You know, we love the cornerback room. What do you think about the four safeties? In my opinion, I think they're just as good as the cornerbacks in terms of depth and individual players. Kevin Byard has been for years considered a top 10 safety in this league. Brisker, we know he's top 10 if he just stays healthy. And then Hicks looks like he's taking a big leap forward, and Owens is a damn good player. Was for the Green Bay Packers last year and will be again for the Bears now.
Brisker, I think, I really like him. I know PJ is not a fan of his antics, but I think that Brisker, this is such a critical year from him, because every indicator so far is that if they have to choose between paying Brisker or Gordon, it's going to be Gordon all day. Gordon's playing lights out. So if Brisker continues to teeter on the injury bug, whether that's concussions or not, or if he quite simply doesn't play as good as he can, he might not, I don't want to say he won't be around, but he may find it hard to get a contract extension from the Bears that's very pricey for him, at least.
I agree. Like, I was almost ready to start the Jonathan Owens over Jaquan Brisker argument, because Owens is a fucking tackling machine. He's a hard hitter. And we saw it from the Packers. We saw it in preseason. I mean, Jaquan Brisker, I love him, but there's always that injury. It's kind of like when we talk about Tevin Jenkins. You always have that injury thought in the back of your mind. Whenever I say the word Jaquan Brisker, I just think injury in the back of my head, and I'm hoping he can stay healthy.
Here, man, I said this 2 weeks ago. I don't know if you guys remember. I said if Brisker has some injury issues early in this season, you could see him possibly lose his spot on the depth chart just because he wasn't able to perform. Think about it. It's possible. And then getting back, because I never got to say anything about the damn cornerbacks, you bastards. Trying to cut me out of that just because I got damn internet problems, and I know what the problem is now. I got to have a thing changed on one of the connections. So I got to get Comcast out here, whatever. But anyway, so cornerbacks. I mean, that is probably the defensive backfield is definitely our strongest point of the team. I mean, just having to kind of be forced to put what's his name on the practice squad, like you just brought up, Carl, and then look at the games that Blackwell and Jones had to play last year. Look at the amount of time they were on the field. Actually, didn't Blackwell play almost like 3 games in a row? Mm-hmm. And we saw what Jones did. So I mean, we know we've got the depth there. We know what we have there exactly. And then, like, again, going back to the safeties real quick, because we're talking about that, is I like Jaquan Brisker, but staying healthy, because boy, there's a lot of pressure right behind him. These guys are right behind him. You get Terrell Smith or Stevenson out there, you're not. There's things that are going to change, man.
Yeah, there's some egg rolls.
I'm saying it wrong because there's too many. Yeah. Ping dong. Ping dong. I can't see his name, but I know what you're talking about.
Tin Pan Dog?
Tin Pan Dog.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I just think the safeties, man, we're set. If any of those guys were released and tried to get on the practice squad, any of the guys that we have as our backups, they would have been poached too. Somebody who's going to poach them. It's all on film.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Who's that number 25 that came out of nowhere and swatted that touchdown out of the air last week?
Adrian Colbert, the guy who was featured on Hard Knocks. And Adrian Colbert is just nowhere linked to this roster at all anymore.
Man,
I thought he had a show on CBS.
Oh my God!
To me, that was the play of the preseason.
I feel you, Aldo. I feel you.
That was awesome. Poor guy got hit by a bike when he was a kid, and then Hard Knocks makes him ride a bike. It's like, dude, how dare you? Fucking guy almost died riding a bike, and now you want him to ride a bike for your fucking cameras?
Let's help with that PTSD you got.
Exactly.
Zach Sullivan in the chat. What's up, Zach?
Zachster, Dr. Truth.
Dr. Truth. Reason for outstanding secondary equals Coach John Hoke. He deserves respect. You are damn right. He does.
That's true. That's 100%. True, Dave. I think, didn't Poles talk about that? These guys coming in and watching. He was so pleased with the progression of some of these guys and how fast they became players. And that is coaching, man. We're hopefully we're just blessed. We're long overdue, dude, to be a freaking blessed team. We need to be a blessed team and win some freaking games here. I want the 2 fucking records back from Green Bay.
No shit.
Why don't you just go earn them?
I want them back.
Well, go earn them. Get on the field. We could use you.
What? To keep the ambulances moving?
Yes, sir.
I can't see the chat because I'm a guest on my own show on my phone right now, but I want everyone to put their best FGB in chat. Fuck Green Bay.
Shit, fuck Green Bay.
Fuck Green Bay. Time to take
Speaking of Green Bay.
Hey, give me a minute, guys. I just want to give a shout out to Taz from 309 saying hi. That's my grandson.
Hey,
What's
Taz.
up, hey.
What's up, Taz?
Hey.
Give us the lowdown on your grandfather.
Is that your Is that your grandson that's just graduated? And
no, that's the one who's got a game tomorrow night in high school. He's a senior in high school this year.
Yeah. We hear all about you guys, man. You guys, Taz, go kick some ass, man. We hear all about you guys. You guys are, sounds like your grandpa over there is raising some good kids and some good football players.
Either that, or he's just a braggart because he shows us pictures too, videos. No, your grandfather's an awesome dude, man. Kick it, kick some butt.
He's a straight A student too, so I'm very proud of him. Very proud of him.
That's the baby, man.
You've got a great grandpa, man. Like PJ, you are an outstanding human being, and I just thank you so much for everything that you do for us. And I mean, you're a great friend, 100%. Love you, man. Oh, I love you for the rest of my life. You're a great guy.
I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that. Thanks, man. Thank you.
What a freaking suck up, man. Yeah, totally. Oh, wait. Is my microphone on?
Oh.
Did I say that out loud?
No, it's all just so your nephew knows this is all in fun, man, because we laugh. He knows. He's got to know.
Yeah.
He talks to you, Pete. He's got to know if he talks to you.
Hey, like I said, man, he's a great kid, man. Great kid.
That's awesome. We need a bunch of those. We need millions of those.
Mm-hmm.
Great kids. We need millions of them. We do.
Mm-hmm. So, are we off of cornerbacks now?
Moving to safeties, right? Or yeah. I'm sorry, did Foster or Carl go?
I just covered cornerbacks and safeties and some other dumb stuff, but okay. That's about it.
No, I'm good to move on past the secondary at this point. I mean, I think it can't be overstated how good they are, but
right. I mean, the guys we cut are going to be starters one day at another team. You know?
What we should have done, Dan, was just not even said anything and shown film of all of them.
No shit, right?
That would have just said it all. So.
Yep, 100%.
I'm honestly surprised Reddy Steward didn't get claimed. Like, I know he's a UDFA.
Me too.
And, like, he only had one good standout performance against a third, fourth string unit, but he is that good. I mean, if Josh Blackwell or someone outprices themselves to be a backup player, or if one of them gets hurt, Reddy Stewart's ready. I mean, and I think that he could be a good contributor for this team next year. I mean, it's really hard skill set for him to just be able to not only get the ball, return it for 6. It's like the old Bears, you know, the 05, 06 units that will actually look to score. It's such a special talent, and the Bears have that, and I think he's just 1 year away. Like the title of the episode, not yet ready.
I love
Carl. What about his name? Reddy Steward. That is like it's got to be a top 10 NFL football player name. Reddy Steward, dude.
I mean, I've seen some crazy names. I think the Chiefs have some crazy names, but yeah, I mean it's a top class name, no doubt.
Speaking of crazy names,
Tin Pan Dog.
Tin Pan Dog.
Oh yeah, we just missed it. Here we go.
I'll have some egg rolls, some Tin Pan Dong, and
some fried rice.
Man, I gotta tell you, I just thank all of you guys in chat for hanging out with us tonight. You guys are awesome. I hope that you enjoy this content because we love to have fun and talk Bears, and we love doing all of this with you guys because you guys are awesome. You guys are, for the 100 millionth time, you're the reason why we do this. So thank all of you guys for hanging out with us tonight.
I think when there's this many people, they don't even.
I thought we were done.
They don't even care what we're doing. Although, look, just read through the chat. They got their own crap going on, dude. It's hilarious.
I love it.
Okay, so can I talk about Noah Sewell now then? Because what the hell is he doing on the team still? What the fuck has he ever done?
Yeah, that's a really solid point.
Do it quick. All those got bedtime coming up.
Well, I think
a bedtime, or you need him in your bed. That's getting some gray area there, Foster.
I don't have the paneling, dude. There's no paneling here.
We're not talking about.
Let's talk about paneling.
I'm going to be quiet on that topic.
That was
I'll let the grown men talk on that point.
Hey, Carl, you're missing Alman I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce his last name.
Am I?
Yes.
No, he's there.
He's right here.
I'm sorry. I didn't see. My apologies.
It's a piss poor graphic. It's bleeding into each other. I understand, but he is hidden up there, unfortunately.
Okay, my apologies.
I
after
got
his Hall of
nickname,
Fame
guys.
game performance, I can't believe he's on this roster, but I digress there.
I just call him Bong, Aldo. I call him Bong.
There you go.
I'm familiar with that.
I do want to give a quick shout out to Pat.
I'm familiar with that.
I want to give a quick shout out to Patty Lara. Is Armando Lara in the chat too? I don't know. I can't see the chat, but thank you for joining us, Patty. I see her every I'm normally every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday in the Sports Zone Chicago with Sean Sierra. We appreciate you for subscribing and becoming part of our chat. Thank you, Patty, and Armando. If you're here.
How many Latin American people in the chat? I want to know.
Not I.
Eduardo Miguel. Is Patty Hispanic?
I'm not sure.
All we need is another 3 or 4 to start a gang.
Yeah.
Jay Grizz might be able to help you out there.
Jay Grizz.
I'll get a few of my kids, and then you're covered, dude.
There you go.
Holy shit.
All right, those linebackers.
Yes.
Shit. Fuck Green Bay.
Yeah.
and that too.
What is that clip from? Is that Booker that said that?
Yeah, before even preseason started.
Yeah.
Wow, I love that.
Shit. Fuck Green Bay.
I'm gonna have to steal that.
All right, I will see you in court, Aldo. Chat, we are going to end this and take this to the courtroom. We will see you next week.
I think the linebacker room overall, I'm very impressed with the 3 starters. Actually, I think we have, if not the best, but one of the best linebacker starting crew there is. I like Sewell, although he didn't really show nothing in preseason. I liked him when he was in college, and hopefully he can stay healthy and show us something. Amin, I think that Hall of Fame game, I was kind of skeptical, but then the rest of the game seemed like he showed up. So I actually think our linebacking group is pretty solid.
Yeah, I mean, Jack Sanborn is primed to really carve out a special role, not just be the third linebacker on a unit that starts 2 linebackers primarily, but Sanborn can be a really key contributor on special teams. I mean, he's obviously a good tackler. I think he's good in open space for his position, and he could be someone who gets a lot of tackles on this new kickoff rule.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, the interesting thing to me is that because the Bears play 70 to 80% in nickel or dime, you know, so they're only playing 20% at a time or so with 3 linebackers. And that's a good thing because I'm not totally sure that if any of those 3 starters went down for any significant amount of time, that Sewell and Bongman can be the answer to help us win those 3 or 4 where a starter is out. So, you know, having Sanborn as your third linebacker is a blessing because he's proved that despite the fact that he's not as athletic as Edmonds and Edwards, he certainly has great anticipation, reads the field well, gets to the ball carry quickly, is always around the ball. He is sort of the X factor here because he can fill in for Edmonds and Edwards when they go down. But God help us if we have to rely on Sewell or Bongman. I think those guys are good special teams players. I think those guys are good for certain packages in a game where they'll get, you know, half dozen to a dozen snaps any given name for special defenses, but aside, or to give the starters a blow. But aside from that, by the way, Jay Grizz.
What, no super chats? What, no super chats?
Appreciate you, Jay Grizz. Appreciate you, brother.
That's awesome.
You got everyone standing up. Shout out Jay Grizz. That's awesome.
Absolutely.
But that's my analysis of the linebackers. I agree with PJ in that this is a real solid group, but I always try to look at things of, okay, what happens if one or two of the starters is done? And what happens? And all of a sudden, Sewell and Bogman, they don't instill great confidence in me, but, hey, not every team has the kind of depth you dream about. And so the key position group is the one we're going to talk about coming up after these guys, is the defensive line, because they're the key to everything in order to make the defensive backs from a B+ to an A+, the linebackers from a B to an A, and so forth. But you guys talk linebackers.
Am I totally wrong when I say that Kyler Gordon is essentially playing the old role that Hunter Hillenmeyer would play? Obviously, Kyler Gordon's more in coverage, but he's essentially that position, just not a linebacker. Because they both, in that system, are 4-3. I hate the 4-3, but thankfully the Bears are modernizing that scheme to where Kyler Gordon is a pseudo linebacker who can cover very well.
Great point, Carl. Great point. Yes,
yeah,
like Greg Gabriel says in the open to his show, the key to the Bears defense is that they have in need a very physical slot corner, and God bless them, and they found one in Kyler Gordon. If you look at that last preseason game, was it the last one or the one before that, where he was
talking about the Bengals?
Yeah, the Bengals, where he made a tackle behind the line of scrimmage on a play and another hard hit. That guy, man, he is physical, and I love his speed and quickness, and I love his energy with the Spider-Man bullshit. He's great.
Yeah,
he's great.
And I don't think it's like blowing smoke either. Like, it's not that he's just good at it. I legitimately think he likes to tackle, which is so fun.
Yes.
We could have used him in 2006 in that Super Bowl. Go ahead, PJ.
Well, I just think that, it's a combination of Gordon as well as Brisker to play that Hunter Hillenmeyer role, because Brisker, when he is healthy, he's tremendous in the box. I mean, he's really good there. It's just that when he is in that box and makes a play, 2 plays later, he's on the sideline, because he's hurt. So, I mean, but I like the physicality of him. He just can't stay healthy.
Yeah, exactly. That is the key thing.
I was just gonna say, Aldo, I should have cut you off, man, because you covered a lot of the points that I wanted to cover. That is my biggest concern. I mean, other than my interior offensive line, the only other thing is if one or two of our linebackers get hurt, because I have no idea what we really have in game situation in an NFL game when it's on the line. I don't have a good read, even for Noah Sewell, because it was limited what we saw of him last year.
Very, yes. So
I am concerned with that, but I mean, those 3 guys. I'm a big Edwards and Sanborn fan. I've been on Sanborn before he was even drafted. That draft, I had him in every Bears mock draft I did, and it started out in the 4th round, and by the end, I was taking him as the last pick in the 7th. Going, even when the draft was going on, I'm like, we're in the 7th round, and nobody's drafted Jack Sanborn. I love that guy. Yeah. He had it. You saw it in his face, man, in Wisconsin, even so.
And Foster, I got to tell you, I was out at camp his rookie year, and I remember, watching him on one-on-one drills, and he was being pushed back. And I'm saying to myself, man, I love this guy at Wisconsin, but does he have the strength to play at the NFL level? And lo and behold, man, no motherfucker, he started to turn things around. And by the end of camp, as I went to several of those camps that year, his rookie year, he started to look better and better and better. And again, with those instincts that he has, he's proven himself to be a good player.
I mean, absolutely. He's another guy that works and works and works and makes the adjustments. Because you said I remember that. I remember when you guys were out there, because I was trying to go. I just couldn't make it. You said you literally saw progression within that small amount of time.
Yes.
He's just like, I've said this. I said, man, if something happened to Tremaine Edmonds, I'm not overly concerned. My concern would be who's replacing Sanborn.
Mm-hmm.
I know they're not. You can't even compare the skill set and the style of play, but you hit it on the head with. The guy he reads everything and reacts so quick. He's on it like that, and you look at him and you watch him run in warm-ups even and stuff when they're just messing around. It's like he doesn't even look like the player he is. I'm not even saying that right, but you guys get the idea of what I mean.
Absolutely.
I think we're decent at linebacker, barring major catastrophe where we do get a bunch of injuries. But you look at the history, it hasn't been terrible with all three of these guys if you look at their individual history.
Yeah.
I'd like to say something about Tremaine Edmonds real quick. One of the things I love about him, and I know he has not played to his potential yet, and he started to play closer to that when Montez Sweat arrived. But I think the reason why so many football fans love him is just his size and his length. When he's there in that middle linebacker position, he's got that wide stance, and he then puts his arms out like this. That's got to be intimidating for a quarterback. He's got to be saying, I can't fucking dump the ball off over the middle.
Jay was all fired up and foaming at the mouth.
Especially when he's 2 or 3 inches higher over anybody on the damn field.
Yes, he's great tonight, man. And he's so young. He's going to get better and better and better. So good stuff.
But what I love about him is he sounds like Snoop Dogg when he talks.
Yes,
he does. He does.
Underrated point.
Underrated point. Yes. He's got a lot of wisdom. You know, he talks like a leader. He behaves like a leader. I like him a lot. And I think he still has a lot more room for growth. He's going to play better and better. Watch.
He better. No, sorry.
I mean, he's a young veteran. He came into the league so young, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I think it's something to be said when you have 2 or 3 brothers that played in the NFL also.
Yep.
And him being the youngest, so he had some good grooming there.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he did? I didn't know that. Who?
No Diddy.
Yeah, he had a brother that played fullback. I forgot what his name. He played for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and the other one came out at about the same time he did. I'm trying to remember what his name was.
There's a Terrell Edmonds who's a safety. He's bounced around between the Pennsylvania teams, I believe.
Right. And then there was another one who came out about the same time he did.
Right, yeah.
Trey?
He is Trey.
Samo's saying that there's an Edmonds brother who plays cornerback for the Seahawks.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Trey and Terrell.
Okay, Terrell.
Trey and Terrell.
So is Trey the cornerback? Because I'm positive Terrell Edmonds is the safety.
Terrell was drafted in the first round by the Steelers, and I can't find his position. Where the fuck is he?
Terrell Edmonds was a first-round pick, too?
In 2008 by the Steelers, yeah.
Wow.
And Trey was a undrafted free agent, and their father played football, too. Pharrell Edmonds played in the NFL, appearing in 2 Pro Bowls. So, the bloodlines are thick.
Yes.
No,
Eduardo Edmonds is not the brother, does not have a brother who had the missing limb. That was another set of brothers.
Mm-hmm.
One of them played for Seattle, though. I know you're talking about.
Yeah.
They both played on Seattle for a year or 2, I thought.
The one with the missing limb, you talking about that family?
Yep.
So you want to move on to the defensive line now?
Sure.
We need to.
Yeah, let's go ahead. Let me start off with saying I'm surprised that we keep in 10. I'm truly surprised that we kept 10. And then for other 10, 6 of them to be defensive ends, I'm really surprised. And when I think I was watching either Swifty and Greg or Aldo and Gabriel, talking about Chris Williams and how he's 295 now, which is kind of on the slender side, which makes me wonder, we don't really have another beefy guy besides Andrew Billings to be that one technique. So I'm inclined to think that there might be a trade brewing to where we getting rid of one of our defensive ends to bring in a defensive tackle. I just find it odd that have 6 defensive ends with possibly a 7th in Chris Williams. But I like the starting 4. Pickens was a disappointment for me in the preseason. But Hardy, Booker, I like what I saw from them, and Daryl Taylor, who I seen the highlights of him in Seattle. I love his speed off the edge, and Dominic Robinson. I think he might have a big role on special teams for the new kickoff rule. But as far as the other guys, who am I missing? Javon Dexter, he didn't show me enough. I'm sorry, I'm being honest. He didn't show me enough in preseason. Andrew Billings, again, I like his run stopping ability. Chris Williams, I truly know nothing about. That's my whole rundown.
That's a great rundown, PJ. And I'll say this. I think the reason they kept 10 is because 4 of those guys, maybe 5 of those guys, will be playing in the special teams. You know, that body type that we talked about earlier in the show, it's what Dan Hardy, Austin Booker, Dominique Robinson, Darrell Taylor, that's what they inhabit. And those 4 guys, if they're active on game day, and most of them will be, they will definitely be key members of the special teams playing all 4 units, I bet.
Sam Rush there saying he agrees with you on Javon Dexter. Sam posted something on Twitter, and you were spot on, Sam, where he was talking about how slow off the line he is. Like, when the ball is snapped, you see all 3 other guys moving before he does, and it's a clear difference. And this is kind of what we talked about him coming out of college. We talked about him having a slow,
right.
And I think I said this before. If Tommy Harris is a Ferrari off the line, you know, he's a Yugo. So I am a little concerned about that as well, and especially considering we've heard a lot about him, you know, swatting balls in camp and being one of our better defensive linemen in camp, and then you see it on tape in the preseason and it doesn't add up.
Yeah, I think, you know, there was clips in from camp of him getting off the ball quick at times, but it hasn't been consistent enough. That's why I told you guys in previous shows I'm a big proponent of us hopefully getting Jonathan Allen in the trade to give Javon Dexter more time to develop, coming in to relieve Jonathan Allen. But that's just my dream, my hope, my wish.
Well, it was interesting that we saw in preseason when he was in there with Billings, we saw that Dexter was playing the 1 tech, and that Billings, the big round nose tackle, he was playing the 3 tech. And so I think there was some experimentation going on there by Eric Washington, who, by the way, could be the biggest addition to the Bears pass rush this offseason. This guy's specialty at developing pass rushers, his knowledge, the way he inspires these players, he's the big addition. He could have just been tinkering with what is going on in this defensive line. I think the true test, of course, is going to be the regular season game, and I expect that we're going to see Dexter a lot at that nose tackle 1 tech spot, and we'll see him at the 3 tech. They're going to keep defenses humming. We've heard, I don't think we've seen Montez Sweat in practice was moving around. We haven't seen it in a preseason game, of course, but we heard that in preseason games he was moving around, playing inside and outside and so forth. So one of the things I'm most excited about is how Eric is going to use these all this talent that he has. And I'm going to Hardy and Booker and Dom Robinson. He's got a lot of chess pieces to play with, and he's a great chess player when it comes to pass rush.
I think
Aldo, I really want to highlight Aldo's point about how valuable Eric Washington will be for the Bears. Eric Washington may have been calling the plays the preseason. He's quite simply not a defensive coordinator. He holds the title because the defensive coordinator is also the head coach. But Eric Washington is a good defensive coach, and he will absolutely maximize the value out of the players on the defensive line, in my opinion.
I think what Aldo was saying, they already said it. I think you said on one of your shows, actually, Aldo, is depending on the strength of the line, depends on whether or not Dexter or Billups will play the 1 technique or the 3 technique. That's what it comes down to. I mean, it's just that simple. Sometimes he will be the 3 technique. Sometimes he will be the 1 technique. It all depends on the strength of the line or the strength of the offense, and therefore they'll make their adjustments accordingly, as opposed to trying to shift them around They're just going to say, you stay on the right side, you stay on the left side, and you either become the one technique or the three technique, depending on how the offense is lined up.
Yep.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna ask you, Foster, a question. So, do you like the depth of this team, or is there a position group in this defensive line that you worry about the depth?
Depth has always been a concern. I still feel that this is the best depth for the entire team that we've had under Poles the whole time. So it's still kind of early to even. I'm always concerned about depth. I've been bitching about depth my whole life because how many times have we actually had depth, Aldo, PJ, over the last 50 years? How many times? We usually have terrible depth. We always have the worst depth in the league half the time.
Only time I can remember is during the 85 years, around that time. That's when we had superior.
We had some. Yes, we did. We did, though. But those days are gone. The way the salary cap is and everything has changed.
Absolutely.
So I am concerned, but not to an extreme extent because Poles is always working. He's always looking. I want to ask you guys a question before I go into the defensive line, and then I'll say a few more things. Did anybody see the Andrew Billings interview on the Barroom Network, Aldo?
Yeah, he was on the middle of the week, Barfly Tailgate. I caught a portion of it. I didn't see it all. What'd you think?
Excellent interview. Did you see it, Carl?
I did not.
No, and I'm bumming because I don't want to get into my day, but I really want to see it because he seems like one of those unsung hero guys.
He's one of my favorite guys on the defense, and you guys, I don't know. Well, PJ, Dan, you guys know how I feel about Montez Sweat. That was my guy going in before we got him.
Absolutely.
I think we were all talking about Chase Young, and I'm like, no, dude, you take Montez Sweat. So, anyways, with the linebacking core, and this is stuff Andrew Billings said, but didn't say. You got to watch the interview to catch this because they were basically going back to playing defensive end, left tackle, right tackle, defensive end. So, I mean, they were going back into that type of defense. They, like you said, they were basing on what the offense was doing. But Billings had stated that there's going to be continuous changes like this with this defensive line. So you really, really go back and at least pull out all the clippets because they were asking him questions and he was answering them kind of indirectly and said that there should be more of this. And I believe his goal this year is to have 3 sacks at least. This is Andrew Billings talking. It's on there. So I'm intrigued because if you guys remember me, I was the one last year saying, hey, man, get a little more beef. I know Dexter's got that problem that we talked about with him coming off the line. Yeah.
That's what she said.
I have to say that, right?
I was thinking the same thing when you started talking about depth too, and the fucking chat just took it away.
They're brilliant. They're brilliant, man. They're brilliant. They're set for everything, man. You could do this every time somebody opens their mouth with these guys. So
you guys are awesome.
Just real quick, and I'll shut up. Is you guys remember how I was talking about? I'm talking to Dan and PJ more so. So because Gervon played 18% of his snaps at defensive end last year. So I'm all in with this. Move these guys around. Get some of the double beefcake on the field, man. Put them on the same side.
Yep.
Bust up one side of the line. Do whatever the hell you got to do to disrupt the offensive line. And hopefully the guy we're talking about, the new defensive coordinator, Carl.
Get it right. Who's the defensive coordinator, Foster? Tell me, who's calling the plays?
Washington? Or is it San Francisco?
Wrong. Goodbye. So anyway, the Thine My podcast.
That's it, man. I'm done. I'm fucking going. Because I just can't remember because I really want to see what they're going to do with this defensive line because I believe that a lot of this preseason stuff, because people are like, dude, why are they showing them all these blitzes and stuff? And I'm like, there's got to be a reason. There's got to be a reason for everything that they did, man. That's just the way this team works.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm anxious to see what we're going to see with this defensive line during the season. I can't really wait for the Tennessee. I want to see how they're going to handle that offense, man.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm content with the depth. I just think that this is there's still like you can't make a Super Bowl team out of what we had 2 years ago. I don't see how it's even possible. But it looks like we're damn close. I mean, insanely enough to even say it.
Yeah.
Foster, do you know how you do that? You trade the number 1 overall pick for the greatest draft trade compensation in the history of the NFL and possibly sports. That's how you do it. Shout out Carolina Panthers.
Thank you, Carolina.
PGTS. Poles got this shit, brother. His moves.
Start the statue now.
See, one of the things, going to Foster's point here, is that Washington is going to have the capability of setting up members of the opposing offensive line. So, for instance, you got a right offensive tackle who is good at handling the bull rush, but is not good at handling speed rushers. Well, we have guys who can do the speed rushing thing with Booker and with Hardy and so forth. And if you're facing a tackle who can't handle the bull rush, then you can move Dexter out there, and he's going to bull rush that tackle right onto the lap of the quarterback. So that's why, to me, I feel like the defensive line, and a lot of this is hope, of course, as a fan, but to me, it could be underrated, because if Eric Washington uses them wisely and sets up the other team, takes advantages of the matchups, uses his players wisely. And I'll give you another example about that. Montez Sweat, how many times did we see him on the fucking sideline, key moments of the game, and then Eberflus after the game says, well, it's his time to rest. Well, you got to fucking clean that up. Give him a rest at some other point of the time, so that in the fourth quarter, he is going full fucking out every goddamn play. And we're getting that offense off the field. So that's what I hope that Eric Washington is going to lend this team, is better thinking with the talents that they have. And the defensive line unit is the most, I don't want to say, to me, is the most interesting because of the different diversity of talents that you have there.
That's a good question. That last question. Who was that? He just asked, is Eric Washington a better play caller than Flus? Pull that back up, Carl.
Well, that was a while ago. You're just gonna have to use your memory on that one. I apologize. I'll do my best, but that one's long and gone.
It's hard to say whether or not he's better based upon running against second string and vanilla offenses. I mean, it's hard to say whether or not he's a better play caller. I mean, I'm not going to judge apples and oranges. I mean, but Eberflus did do well last year. I mean, when he took over. I've liked what I've seen from Washington in the preseason, but keeping it in perspective, it was preseason, no game planning, and offense is not game planning, so we really don't know. I'm curious. I think it's a very good thought, but you really can't compare the two because they're not the same right now.
Yeah.
Samo stole the words out of my mouth. I think that the play calling you saw from the Bears defense out of Washington this preseason was more aggressive. And I personally love that.
Yep.
But you got to admit that Eberflus became more aggressive in the second half of last season. I mean, I remember on one of our shows, Danny Schimmel was always crying, literally crying. Send more pass rushers in. You don't have pass rushers on the defensive line, so send in blitzers. Take your chances with blitzing, and that's always dangerous, especially in today's NFL, because quarterbacks are taught to get rid of the ball so quickly. So I'm not sure I agreed with Danny a lot of times, but aggressive play calling, blitzing is necessary. It has to be a part of the plan, and Eberflus rarely did it before the last 7-8 games of last season.
Well, I think, before we got Sweat here, our defensive line pressure was just atrocious. I mean, it was atrocious.
It had to be the worst in the league.
Yeah, it was bad. And I think now that Sweat is here, you can apply pressure. And then when he needs help, you can send a fifth person to a rush, and our cornerbacks are good enough to keep their guy in coverage just that second longer to where they can now get that sack. So I think that's the hidden part of those sacks is the fact that our cornerbacks was in coverage and was able to maintain coverage a little bit longer because of that. So this year, I mean, I'm curious to see where it develops because, like I told you, where Javon Dexter is right now, I don't see that that interior pass rush that Eberflus needs to make this engine runs. He needs that 3 technique to get that pressure up the middle, and I'm not sure if Dexter is going to do that or not. I hope so, but I'm not sure yet.
Yeah, it's going to.
You know what, Pete? Back in my day, we rested at halftime. And then we died at like 57 of a stroke, and we liked it that way, damn it.
Yeah, it's weird, right? Pitchers used to pitch 30 complete games. Thank you, Ferguson Jenkins. And now if a pitcher pitches 3 complete games, they're fucking giving him a statue somewhere. Unbelievable.
Do they even let him pitch 200 innings anymore when it used to be like 350?
Yeah, I don't think so. It's different.
I mean, there's an inning count on these guys, and I'm like, these are better athletes than we've ever had.
Exactly.
And you're going to limit them, especially in baseball. Joke. Yeah. But like Priest used to say when I was playing football, because we'd have like 18 guys. So a lot of us would play offense and defense, man. And my father Sean, I said, you can rest when you're dead.
Yeah.
Just you can rest anytime you want, just not during the game.
Right.
When you need to be on the field, you need to be on the field, especially guys like Sweat and Billings. When they need to be there, they got to be there.
Yep.
But I think you have to take
paid millions of dollars, conditioned athletes. What the hell good is the conditioning?
Yeah.
Well, you have to take in consideration. You have to take in consideration the fact that you asking these guys to go 100 miles per hour. Whereas before, they probably played a whole game and played every snap, but they wasn't playing as fast as they're playing now.
That's true.
This is truly predicated on speed. So, they probably can play a whole game, but are they going to be going 100 miles per hour playing the whole game? They're not. So that's why they constantly want to get fresh bodies in there.
Totally agreed, Peach, because the guy was in both teams. Everybody played the whole game mostly.
Yeah.
So they were all gassed at the same time. It makes sense.
Yeah.
But here's what I would do with Montez. I'm his coach. Montez, listen. I need you out there every play in the fourth quarter. So take a break anytime you want. Signal for Hardy to come in and replace you, but make sure you save enough energy for that fourth quarter push, okay? That's how I would coach these guys as opposed to writing shit down and following some fucking script that doesn't mirror what is happening on the field, Like that.
Yeah. Even if you're going to substitute him in the fourth quarter, make it before the last 6 minutes of the game. I mean, therein lie with the problem because you have this crucial 4-minute drive that the offense their offense is doing, and we got Sweat on the sideline. I even seen a couple of times. I think they had one of our star linebackers on the sideline. It's like, okay, what's going on with your substitution pattern?
Exactly, that's just bad fucking coaching. That's what it is, and so hopefully Eric will correct that.
I think he will because he spent some time with McDermott. Is that his name up there in Buffalo?
Yes, and McDermott. Yeah.
Yeah. So he was he was with him a while, and they had some really good defenses up there. So I'm confident in whatever role they got for Eric Washington, whether it's calling plays or just managing the substitutions, whatever it is. I'm confident in that because of his experience and coaching at that high level in the AFC Championship games and having to defend against your Mahomes and come up with things even if he wasn't calling the plays, he's still around that, having that experience. I think that'd be a tremendous help for us.
Yeah. As long as Billings doesn't cover anybody again.
Oh no, please no. Or
whoever
Justin Jones.
Remember?
Justin Jones, it was Jones on that play. Yeah. The other thing,
None of that. I'm okay.
The other good thing about Washington is he doesn't jerk off in his office. I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
Bingo.
That's just a small detail, you know what I'm saying? Small detail there.
Shout out to City Streets TV. I've never seen City Streets TV in here before. Thank you for joining us. Yeah, right, buddy. Smart move. Don't use all your energy during the game. Save your legs for the fourth quarter. Yeah, sweat.
Yeah.
City Streets TV.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us. First time chatter.
Richard Long might be a new chatter as well. Do you think that they know Wilma, Mr. Aldo?
Wilma Dickfit?
Yeah, do you think they know each other?
I don't know. I think Richard is bragging about his dick length here by calling himself Richard Longkiller.
Well, I'm just that was my old porno name, Aldo.
Oh, you and Tooch used to be in those pornos together.
Yeah, I hope my grandson's no longer watching here. I hope he's in bed by now.
Oh my god.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
Wait, you're telling me you were doing porn talking about your depth issues?
Dude, it's so bad. I didn't even tell you guys this. So I called my girl in Wisconsin, and she's like, "Dude, I hate men. I'm leaving." She left me for a woman.
Oh my god!
Unbelievable!
Breaking fucking news! Breaking news!
But
terrible.
But hold on. Did you guys catch how Foster had to clarify which girl it was? I told you, this guy got so many girls, man. I'm telling you. My one in Wisconsin. I ain't gonna talk about the one in Michigan or the one in Illinois. I'm gonna talk about the one in Wisconsin. It's this guy right here.
Foster is a legend with the ladies. I tell you, he can play
y'all,
all combined.
Swifty would have known, is that the girl he met?
Yeah. Don't you say nothing, Swifty.
How many teeth did she have, Swift?
That's terrible.
Was her name Wilma Dickfit?
No.
I will say, wrapping up the defensive line. I'm kind of shocked that Dominic Robinson is still around, kind of like Noah Sewell. But also the fact that they went out and traded for Chris Williams and Darrell Taylor at the end of training. Yeah, Darrell Taylor at the end of training camp, and now these guys are both on the 53. I find that interesting.
I got to tell you about Dom Robinson. His play, from what I've read about preseason at Hallis Hall, and his play on the field, is particularly in one preseason game, has shown him to be much more capable of setting the edge. This was something that Danny Sherman complained about almost after every game. This guy is terrible at setting the edge. He just doesn't have the strength. Well, apparently he went on some diet where he added 18 pounds of muscle, and he's been working out like a demon, and he showed up to camp with a transformed body, and the coaching staff loved how strong he looked. And there was one particular play in the game against Buffalo where he was playing defensive end, and it was a run play, and he was playing left defensive end, and the left guard came swinging around. He beat the tackle to get to the middle of the field, and here came the left guard with full force hit into him, and Dom did not move, and he was part of the tacklers on that play. And that shows that he finally has an NFL body and can play physically with other players. So hopefully he's not going to be the pass rushing demon. He's not going to get you double sacks, but hopefully he can be an asset against the run and be a significant part of this rotation.
That's what we call in defensive line terms. He hard jointed.
I love it.
Yeah, when the guy is pulling to come block you like that, and you hold your ground, you're hard jointing to where you don't let nobody on the outside of you. That's the whole objective of that. So good for Dom Rob.
I love it. That could be the name of a really good marijuana podcast. Hard joining with PJ and Aldo. Football and dope talk.
Well, guys, we're going on 3 hours here, so let's kind of start to wrap this up. I wanted to let's take that screen down. I think we're done talking about the. Oh, do you want to get to the?
Special teamers, great. Good job.
You said take the screen off, so I
did. He's the devil, Mr. Shorty. He's the devil.
Oh, he is. That's why he's here.
We can do another hour talking the roster.
We sure the hell can't we?
Yeah, but you got to work. PJ's got to get up early to take his son to school, his grandson to school. Foster's got to fuck some more women.
And their daughter and their daughters.
We got 143 in the chat, so we appreciate you guys tuning in to have us talk about the roster. We didn't get to the practice squad, but I'm sure you can look it up. But you guys got the gist of the whole 53-man roster there.
What about Foster sex life? When do we talk about that?
That needs to be a segment. I think everyone is too shy to do it, but I mean, it would be a good 15, 30-minute segment. You know, how has the week been for Foster? What have his endeavors been?
Exactly.
Well, you guys are going to be
Give the
so
people
disappointed.
what they want.
You're going to be so disappointed.
Because your woman left you for a woman, I'd be disappointed if I were you. That's right.
Foster's going on 700 years old, and he's banging girls and their daughters at the same time. This guy over here.
PJ's so jealous.
You're talking about too much of my history now.
Give the people what they want.
Man, I hope my kids aren't watching this.
Too late.
I might be one of them. Jeez. We'll figure that out next week.
Zach Sullivan says,
yeah.
Chicago PD about to get some leads on some
especially after that a house is sold. Hold on, sorry, I'm a little bit short on this one.
Hey, Zach, I don't know if he knows this, man. I've been on Chicago PD like 10 times. I used to be on Chicago PD all the time, man. I'm serious.
Oh, the
saw it as an extra.
I saw you walk in the background one shot. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Background.
In a doctor's wearing like you're a doctor in the background, right?
Yeah.
Aging Dr.
That was one of them.
Aging Dr. Foster.
Foster, did you ever meet Katie Bush?
Yeah.
Why is he laughing?
She was in that scene.
She was in that scene. Man,
I'm pretty sure she was in it. Yeah, she's actually really cool. They were.
I've heard that.
They were all cool except for I can't remember the young guy's name. He was kind of, I don't know, but like the sergeant, cool as shit, man. I sat with him in a church for like 2.5 hours just talking.
Oh, awesome.
I can't remember the character names because that was a few years back. But yeah, that was some fun stuff, man.
He's the guy with the real raspy voice, right? It was with Scientology.
Yeah, and you know how he got that? I don't know if anybody heard this story because I don't know who follows the show, but so he actually was in an accident and they had a trach tube in his throat.
Ooh.
And he got mad and ripped it out. And that's how he screwed. That's why he sounds like that.
Oh my gosh.
He went in. I can't remember because it was a couple of years ago because I actually didn't talk to him at first, and he was telling somebody on the phone sitting right next to me, tell him this, and then we talked a little bit, and we went out in the chow line. He's like, "Here, dude, you've been standing out in the cold all day. Go ahead of me to get food." Really, just a regular guy, regular dude, regular dude.
Love that.
Cool.
But yeah, that's how his voice sounds like that. It's not fake or anything like that. It's because of what he did 20, 30 years ago. So who knows, man? If he wouldn't have done that, maybe he's not on that show.
Right. Yeah. Very true. He's a good actor.
Doug McDormand saying he's giving you some advice. Don't take one of those DNA tests. Oh, am I still here?
Yeah.
There we go.
No, I'll never take one of those, man.
That advice is too late. That advice is too late. It's all scheduled for next week. Make sure you guys have the notifications turned on. It's happening. It is happening.
I will not show up. I will not show up for that or my funeral, dude. Not going. Just not going.
Nope. Nobody else is, so you're good.
Yeah. We'll all be at the bar.
Exactly. Awesome.
Great show, guys. This was a blast.
Yeah, Aldo, you are the man. Thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight, man. We love when you hang out with us. I love hearing your voice, man. It's just feels like home. So thank you for hanging out with us tonight.
I'd love to have you guys on one of the upcoming versions of Bare Their Souls. We'll work it out. We're actually moving to Wednesdays from Tuesdays to Wednesdays, and Buffon 55 is moving from Wednesdays to Tuesdays. That starts the first week of the season. Mike North is coming back, so we have Greg Gabriel, Mike North on Mondays. We'll have Buffon 55 on Tuesdays. On Wednesdays, we'll have Bare Their Souls, and then on Thursday, just before this show, Mac and Reed.
Mac and Reed,
nice, yeah. And they're doing some new fun things for this upcoming season. So, and then the Willis Twins on Friday. So every day of the week, there's football either here or on BCP and some of the other channels, and of course, Swifty is fucking knocking out shit like he's a one-man factory. More fucking content than I've ever seen before.
Yeah, Greg Gabriel's over there with Swifty now.
Yeah, I love it. I love it.
I was gonna tell Shorty to get a room.
I actually sent you crack instead of strike that.
Yeah, I started thinking. I was like, man, I'm jealous. Swifty's got Greg Gabriel on with him, and I thought, well, I'll ask Aldo if maybe we can get Greg on, but we're on way too fucking late. He's sleeping right now.
Yeah, he could do 8, on occasion. So I'd be happy to ask him on your behalf. I'm sure he'd love to come on.
I'm sure he wouldn't.
Well, if you guys, send him a bottle of vodka or something.
Okay, we can do that.
Send him a nice hat. He sent me a picture of. Have you guys seen that design of the bee that looks like 18?
No.
Yeah, like the bee hat that Lovie Smith always wore. It's instead of a bee, it's an 18. It's awesome.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Great fucking design. Send him like that. He'll definitely.
Okay. Well, maybe we'll work on that. Robin Leffler, that's another first-time chatter. I've never seen that name before. Adam Mason mentioned you in his show. I'll have to watch more often. Thank you very much, Robin. We would appreciate that.
Thank you,
Robin. Adam Mason is he's a good friend of the channel. Love Adam Mason. He's a great guy. He was on last week with us.
I got a little story about him being on with us last week. So do you guys remember at the end of the show how I changed everybody's last name to Foster?
Yeah.
Right.
His show, if you go back and look at any of his shows he did from Thursday to like Wednesday or Tuesday, said Adam Foster on it the whole time, man. So I'm on his show. I'm on his show telling him, hey, Adam, your name's still the same as Thursday. And he goes, yeah, Foster said they could pick up free agents on Thursday. And I'm going, no, dude, I didn't say that. That's tomorrow. Because it was Tuesday this was on. I'm like, your name's still wrong from Thursday. And I told him like 5 times. So finally,
Foster, he blamed me for that. He blamed Carl for that. I was pissed. I was like, I did not do that.
I did it. Of course I did it. I was the one who made everybody. I was the one who made everybody Mason when he was on our show. I made us all Masons, man.
Yeah.
Shorty Mason. So finally he does. He does another show and changes the name just as the show goes on. One of his shorts, it was like a 5-minute thing. I can't remember. Somebody was released and because he was doing updates when they were releasing everybody. So it was Adam Foster, and then all of a sudden Adam Mason at the beginning of the show, man. He finally caught it after like two episodes, and I'm going, dude, I even sent him it on Twitter. I'm like, dude, I meant that your name's been Adam Foster since Thursday, and it's Tuesday. so he never looked at his own name for 5 days.
Raging Oracle says that there's nothing wrong with him using Daddy's name. That's good, Raging.
The Raging Oracle of football. Yeah.
Well,
Aldo Mason. There we go. Look.
Yeah, we're all Masons now. Let's get the chat. I can't see it, but it sounds like we got a lot of new chatters in here tonight. We really appreciate you guys for hanging out with us tonight. We're here every Thursday.
Give you guys a disclaimer here. I'm gonna miss some of you in the chat because there's so many of you in the chat. Currently, we have 137 in the chat. But Swifty Sports, Robin Leffler, Sports Chicago Style, Cliff Victoria, Raging Oracle, Doug Van Dorn, Swift Sports Network, J2K, you got Jay Grizz. You guys can feel free to jump in and help me out anytime you want.
King Buka World, Ant Moss, Brian Gilmore,
New Breed,
Wilma,
Richard Long.
That's what she said.
Zach Sullivan.
It's Dick Long.
Bruha 7. Sam Rush. Stantmas. Guys, we truly appreciate you joining us tonight, hanging out with us. Man, we truly appreciate your support. Thigh and Smy.
Who?
Fuck
that guy. That guy just says too much shit, man. I think we got to toss him.
City Streets TV.
Carl, block that guy.
See, look at it. TNS. Too much shit.
Yeah, it's a lot of guys. Cliff Victoria, yeah, it's a whole bunch of you guys in the chat. Truly appreciate you guys. Thank you very much for joining us. You guys is what makes this show go.
100%.
Bearski Film.
Patty Lara, I know Patty's in there. Is Armando in there?
Yeah, Armando wasn't here. Eduardo, how you pronounce the name there, Shorty?
Eduardo Rodriguez.
Yes.
Shit, fuck Green Bay.
Heidi was in here.
Yes.
Heidi
was in here.
Good to see you, Heidi.
Mr. Mayhem was in here.
Did you shout out Harry? Harry Ballsack?
Don't do it,
no! He's always around, Harry Ballsack.
What about Hugh?
Hugh who?
Humongous dick.
Dr. Truth was here.
Dr. Truth, thanks for joining us.
Subtlety, humongous dick.
I know a few of them guys.
Super chats?
But seriously, I mean, this is you guys in chat are the reason why we do this. So thank you, Mike.
Did you guys say hello to Michael?
Michael Hunt.
My wife wouldn't talk to me for 3 days after I pulled the Michael Hunt. What are you talking about? Michael Hunt, call me.
J2K.
Mike Hunt.
Jay Grizz, we appreciate the super chat. Thank you.
Grizzly Bear. There was a super chat from Grizzly Bear?
No, Jay.
Yes.
Jay Grizz earlier. Yeah.
Oh, thank you, Jay Grizz. I didn't see that. We appreciate that. Thank you.
But we didn't read it because it said fuck Green Bay and all the cousins they made.
Oh, is that what it was? Okay. I didn't see that it was.
We never read it. I don't think we read it.
Yeah,
I did. Like I said, I'm a guest on my own show right now. I'm on my freaking phone.
I could fix that
today. So I was hanging out with J2K yesterday in StreamYard, and we were gonna do some.
I can't push them off.
We were gonna do some.
Yeah, you heard me, huh, Carl?
J2K, shout out to J2K Designs for helping us with the rebrand and the logo and everything. He's been training me on Photoshop and Adobe Suites and all that stuff. And we were talking last night for a while, and my everything was working fine. And then today, I turned on my MacBook to go do the show, and my fucking keyboard stopped working. I don't know what's going on.
Sounds like an IT
I do,
problem.
Shorty. I know what's going on, dude. It takes many years of training to be good at that, and you ain't reached that freaking year yet.
Pan Dog, Plank. Appreciate you guys.
Tin Pan Dog. I love that name, Tin Pan Dog. Plank, what's up?
We
Plank?
all do.
Plank doesn't normally get to hang out with us on Thursdays, so it's good to see you here with us tonight, Plank.
Plankster.
All you guys in chat, man, we love you. We appreciate you. Thank you so much. Thank you for your super chat, Jay Grizz.
Taz, thank you for joining us, man. Appreciate you.
Bears are going to win the Super Bowl this year, guys. So get your hype train going. Get on the train with us, man. Because
man, that would just be a great start to a year after the last year I've had. That would be so amazing, dude.
Can you imagine first rookie quarterback to win the Super Bowl? This kid is so fucking electric. I am just beside myself. Aldo, it's taken a while for PJ to come around. Like for the longest time there, I felt like talking about Caleb Williams was like it's like I was married, I was engaged to his daughter and dumped her for a hotter chick. Like that's how he was. That's how I felt about talking about Caleb Williams around. It was like I was talking about my new girlfriend around PJ. Like,
hey, I understand it when you're a devoted fan of a player. You're not going to switch over immediately. There's got to be some, a little bit of time. But by game one, PJ will be on board 100%.
100%. And especially
well said, Aldo. Well said.
Yeah.
He's a Bears fan. We know the truth. He's a Bears fan. It doesn't matter. He's a Bears fan.
I love the way
we know how them Bears fans are.
I ain't gonna lie to you guys. I was on this site, New Era Caps yesterday, and they have a sale on caps going on right now, right?
Uh-huh.
I sure enough put the Pittsburgh Steelers ball cap in my basket there. I ain't gonna lie to you. I put it in there.
Oh no! No,
man. What?
Hey,
that don't surprise me.
I was like, well,
this is a legitimate trade offer that is not a scam whatsoever. Swifty signed the contract. Big boy signed the contract.
Well, there's no way he made that.
Swift beats Adam down.
What the hell?
What is that? I don't even know what that is.
Carl received Terry McLaurin, Devontae Adams,
This is a proposal. This has not been accepted because Swifty is scared.
Well, yeah, of course. He's not going to fucking trade away McLaurin, Adams, Kincaid, and Jefferson for the trash you're offering.
Oh,
bro,
that's
Romeo Dobbs. Romeo Dobbs is wide receiver 1 for Green Bay, bro. Just accept the trade and move on. Let's go.
No, I love the Packers. They got 5 number 3 wide receivers, I believe.
Number 4, but yeah, your point is correct.
We picked up one of their number 1 wide receivers today.
Wait,
yes, Amari Toure, Yaya Toure.
Yeah. I don't know if you guys remember this, but Dobbs, I wanted the Bears to draft Dobbs. Actually, they should have traded back and drafted Dobbs instead of Ellis Jones. In my opinion, I mean, I was saying
it's
then.
Not an opinion, that's fact.
My draft that year, and although you've actually got a copy of it, was Gordon Brisker, Watson, but then I wrote a note even on it that I really, because he was already gone, I would have not taken Vellis. I would have traded back, gotten a pick, and taken Dobbs for sure. Very high on my radar. And he could probably be a number. He could be a number 2 or 3 anywhere. I don't know what they consider him in Green Bay, if he's their 1 or what. I don't know who's number 1 there.
Probably all I know is we're going to beat him twice this year. Fuck
we better.
Green Bay.
We sure better. Like the next
Green
5
Bay.
years in a row, we better do that.
Shit. Fuck Green Bay.
I want the record
Shit. Fuck Green Bay.
So
Shit. Fuck Green Bay.
They're coming. This quarterback.
That sounds like a rap song.
This quarterback, guys.
Although, let's get together. Let's make that happen, okay? If anyone steals that audio bite and turns it into a song, we will sue them together.
I got the beats already. How about if I send you the beats and you mix it together, Carl?
Yeah, let's do it, and then I'll sample Triple R saying "The power of polls compels you." We got a number one platinum track right there. Let's do it. Let's make it happen.
I love it. I love it.
And let's not forget the fish and spaghetti.
That has to be its own song. Oh my god!
I'm thinking about having
DJ was all fired up and
actually thinking about doing fish and spaghetti.
Hot custard on your spotted dick.
There you go. Nice little send off for the stream.
BJ, you ever spin? Did you ever spin records?
No.
Are you allowed to ask that? Are you allowed to ask that?
He was just doing it. That's why I asked.
No, he was playing DJ Pussy. Let him be, man.
My brother's actually a DJ though.
Unbelievable.
Nothing wrong with that. I have a lot of cousins and stuff make their money spinning records. All good.
Yep.
Records they spin though. It's all salsa music. It's Latin.
That trade is a resignation.
I thought Aldo said I got a lot of cousins that make money staining records. I'm like, how are they staining them, Aldo? What are they doing?
Well, I told you that I had one cousin who is in the porn business. I don't know if she still is. I talked about it. She. I talked about it on the show with Dan, and she must have heard about it because she has fucking blocked me out of her life. I'm not on her social media accounts.
Was that a Freudian slip? Oh, look at PJ. Was that a Freudian slip?
Freudian slip? No, I don't think so.
Instead of blocking, you said blacked.
Did I say that?
I'm gonna see myself out. Thank you, gentlemen.
Yes, get the fuck out of here. Trying to start a race war.
So was she a star in the
she worked at Naughty America and she was a big star. She had picked a different name. I forgot what it is now. I'll try to find it and send you guys a video of her sucking some guy's dick.
So you actually used to check your cousin out there, bro?
I had to see if this was true, you know? So I wanted to reach her and tell her, hey, I'd love to do an interview with you on our show. And that's when she blocked me. It was like over. I guess she didn't want the family to know.
Right.
The family told me. It's not like I was fucking looking over Naughty America.
Right.
Maybe it was. I hadn't seen her since she was this small. I would not have recognized her, sucking some guy's penis.
Hey, that's my cousin right there.
Exactly. I would have been crying.
Carl, are you playing that Jason UK Bears thing on a loop right now? Can you guys hear that? It's just me.
I heard it for a little while. You're muted.
I hope I'm not. I shouldn't be. You want to play it again though?
Can hear that?
Hot custard on your spotted dick.
Yeah, I heard
there
it.
We go.
I heard it before too. Yeah.
You guys sort yourself out, man.
All right, let's wrap this shit up. I gotta go to bed.
Nah, we're just getting started.
Media.
Are you alone there?
Sure. Me? Yeah, I'm in a hotel.
Oh no, that was the wrong answer.
Yeah.
I thought maybe his wife was there. I don't know.
Al was on his way.
That is not an invitation.
Nah,
Dan being alone in a hotel is not an invitation, Aldo.
What's your room number? I know he's in St. Charles. I'll find that fucking hotel.
West Chicago, baby. I'll see you in an hour.
You think this is a can of
beer?
I
was just going to run some more beer over to Aldo's because I know he needs some.
What, you're going to feed him your beer can?
No, come on. At least a 12-pack.
Now we know why Shorty was feeling a little bit sick today.
All right, fellas.
Been a blast.
Aldo,
Thanks
thank you
me,
for
man.
joining us, man. We love the
Appreciate you, Aldo.
Appreciate you, man. Much love. Everyone in chat,
Yeah.
thank you for joining us tonight. You guys are awesome. You guys are a blast. Much love to you guys too. We will see you guys next Thursday, 9:00 Eastern time, 8:00 Central, after the final. Sadly enough, the final Hard Knocks Bears episode. It's gonna be sad when that's over. I'll just have to rewatch every one of them 18 more times over, But
You'll be
love you
fine.
guys.
The Bears will be kicking ass.
Love you guys. Appreciate you guys. Love you, Aldo. Appreciate you. Thanks for hopping on with us tonight. We'll see you guys next week on a 1-2-3. Let's give it the best Bears we have. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Fuck Green Bay.